You right, you got to press the toys. All right, we live.
All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites. All right, and every week we prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom and the deliverance of the children of Israel. You know, but before we do that, we always give praises to the Most High and His Son in the true language, the last Kodash, the holy tongue. All right, we say Kal,
Lion,
La,
Yahweh,
Hashem,
Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Kodash, Ma'amah.
Double honor to the elder apostles and GMS that teach well and rule well, and shalom to you, Akim, and Agwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth on the four corners of the earth. Today we're gonna get into the book of Second Ezra. All right, but you know, something got on my spirit. Let's go here instead. Somebody get Revelations, Luke 17 and 26. We're gonna read from there all the way to 30. All right, because you got this whole
17, 26.
Yep. Right here in the city of Jacksonville, they got this festival called the Orange Crush Festival, where all these different cities come here to Jacksonville, and they basically have what you call like a Freaknik, you know, basically living a rendition of the Roman Empire. All right, showing you the mindset that our people are in, man, nothing but violence and murder. But in the midst of that, all hell is breaking loose. Okay, but the Lord said there's no new thing under the sun. We've seen this before. All right, so somebody bring this out. Let's see what the Spirit says.
Well, this is Luke chapter 17, verse 26.
Yeah.
It says, "And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man."
Right, so just like it was in the days of Noah, just like it was in the days of Ezra, in the days of Elijah, in the days of Ezekiel, all right, when the Lord had to deliver us, so shall it be in the day of what day of the Lord, right?
The days of the Son of Man.
Right, it's gonna be what? Caught off guard, unexpected.
Verse
Right.
20.
Y'all keep going over to 30.
Verse 27 of Luke 17. It says, "They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all."
Right, that's just like with Adam, when the Lord, Adam was supposed to live forever, but then when the Lord put death on Adam, you know, for being wicked, He said, "What? He's gonna die now." You know, before that we didn't even know what death was. But as that was to Adam, the Adamites, that's what we're really talking about, the Adamites. As it was to them, the same as the judgment was to Noah, you know, with the flood. And now we got another judgment coming up with fire, the second death. All right, so it's going to be unexpected. That was it?
I'm on verse 28. Verse 28 of Luke chapter 17, it says, "Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all."
Okay. All right, so the same thing happened with Lot. All right, the same day that he was getting taken out of Sodom and Gomorrah, when he got destroyed, that's when all of a sudden the people, they want to pay attention. So it's going to be too late. The same thing about to happen here. But what happened with Lot? The Lord cared about Lot so much that He sent angels in there to get Lot out of there. Him and his household, just like Noah and his household. So it's not just about the destruction, it's also about the deliverance as well. All right, showing that the Lord will protect His elect. All right, go ahead, brother.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 1. It says, verse 2, it says, "It is better to go in the house of mourning than to go in the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by sadness of the countenance the heart is made better." Ecclesiastes 7.
Okay, all right. So yeah, man, it's better to go into what? The house of mourning than to the house of mirth. All right. Why? Because in this society, everything that they're happy about and they celebrating is what? These holidays, wickedness, that they call holy days. There's sports, which comes from what? The Roman Empire. That was set up as a torment on the slaves, the ones that were in servitude. All right, were sentenced to death. But now they glorify it. You know, look at the MMA. Look at what's his name, Nate Diaz. He go in there and get bloody all the time. Damn, they're killing themselves. Could barely talk retarded. You know, damaging themselves. Look at all the boxers. You know, what else they celebrate? The money. And God they trust. It's all wickedness. It's all the house of mirth. So the Lord said, in this time, it's better to go into the house of mourning. You know why? Because we mourn. We're in the spirit of Yahushua, because Yahushua is mourning. Really, our people are mourning. You know, because we lost our king, Yahushua.
This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 7.
Right, and we should be mourning because we betrayed our God, Yahweh. All right, so we should be shamed over here in America, real quick. We should be ashamed over here in America and not boasting like we came over here on cruise ship. You know, we came over here on slave ship. All right, go ahead, brother. Somebody put it on social media. As long as we in hell, America, we still in hell. That was my song. All right, go ahead, brother.
This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 7. By faith, Noah being warned of Yahweh of the things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by which he commanded the world and became heirs of the righteousness which is by faith.
Right, man. So that's what he did. We got to prepare our house. You know, you prepare your own household and the house of David, which is the hopeful elect. You know, the brothers that's around you. And and also Noah was preaching. All right, he went out there and taught on the street just like us. But he had to be moved by that spirit to do so. You got something you want to speak on?
And if I may add on, you know, hey, Noah was moved by faith, you know what I'm saying, to get out there and teach what he believed in, man. Not yet seeing the drop of rain, but yet he was getting out there prophesying about it. You know, the same way we're doing to this day. Right. It's prophesied for 200 million missiles to hit this place, but guess what? Shit, we ain't seen no missiles. You have the righteous, I won't get the feeling, but hey, we believe that they're gonna come. So we get out here and profess our faith on that quick.
Right, because faith is the action word. And at that time, they didn't see it rain. They never saw it rain before. It was the dew from the earth. They used to moisten the earth. You know, but now, hey, World War III, nuclear fire.
The 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 20, it says, knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scriptures is of any private interpretation, for the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but holy men of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua spake as they were moved by the Holy Ghost, man. So, hey, it was the Holy Spirit of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that got Noah, and that's that followed the same suit as well, to get up out here and push forth that the truth of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. You know, so therefore, hey, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua put that fire up under our ass, all right, to get us moving, man.
Right, man. Yep, we ain't come up with this ourselves, man. Like polite them doing, trying to start a community. You know, this is the word of the Heavenly Father, man. Written through the minds of men, prophets, righteous men. All right. You got one? All right. DeBar.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 21. It says, for after that, in the wisdom of Yahweh, the world by wisdom knew not Yahweh. It pleased Yahweh by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. So Noah was not only he feared the Lord, but he went out to preach, and he preached 120 years, prophesying that the Lord is going to bring a judgment. And by him doing so, by him preaching, he also saved his family by being moved by the Holy Spirit, man. Because it was important for him to preach the Lord's word, to warn them.
And what that does is this, man. That sets it up to where nobody can say they got themselves to the kingdom. You know what I mean? It's all about the will of Yahweh, about Yahushua. All right, you can't say I kept the laws perfectly. You know, I destroyed this many Edomites. All right, I left that wicked woman you wanted me to leave. Whatever, you know, I followed the truth. I went out and taught people. No, he said, what? By his will will be delivered. The foolishness of preaching, he set that up. All right. Revelation 1 and 3? Because we become his word. And what did he say about his word? He said his word will stand forever.
This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand.
Right. What time is it? What time is at hand? The time of Jacob's trouble? The time when Esau has an end? And wickedness has an end? All right. The time when we can be delivered. All right.
This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her in recompense.
Right. So we're in the time of the Lord's vengeance on what? America, man. Babylon. And our people love this place. They love everything about it. You know? And you see what they're doing, getting that, you know? And only thing, it's all about time. It's all about time. Time tells the story. You know, even with that, it's going to take a couple years to deal to see what's up with it. All right, that's the trick. But, go ahead.
Just 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of those things, that one day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to us word, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord,
They're all, meaning all the elect. All right, that goes with Amos chapter 9. You know, that the least grain shall not fall upon the earth. All right. So what's repentance? Turning back to the Father. Okay.
but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up.
Right, man. I mean, these fake acid that these women got. You know, that chip, their money, all their fiat currency, everything they building up in this place, man. Your cars, your houses, you know, all that wicked woman you chasing. You know, a lot of jakes or that wicked man that the woman chasing. You know what I mean? A woman chasing a dude like Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? They like all that. All right. But the Lord said he's going to destroy them. Oh, you got to go on to it.
Verse 11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
Right, and that word conversation means your actions. So in all your actions and in your speech, what type of person you think you should be in the midst of all that? You know? Can you be perfectly righteous? No, but you should be a believer. You should be a faithful person. You know, you should operate under the ways of the righteous, follow the righteous way. All right, the same God that made the judgments in the past, he's making the same judgments now.
It's Galatians 4 and 3.
Yeah,
Even so, we, when we were children, were in bondage under the elements of the world. But when the fullness of the time was come, Yahweh sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. I just brought that out when we're dealing with time, but when the fullness of the time was come, you know, that's when the Lord ultimately, because only the Heavenly Father knows that time, you know, not even the Son of Man, you know, but hey, when that time comes, that Son of Man, he's going to descend with a shout, man, and that judgment is going to be put forth.
Yeah, and that's right. We said time.
Yeah, dealing with time that the fullness has come.
Right. Yeah.
But we're bondage under the elements of these world, under the elements of this world, like the previous verse stated. Even so, when we were children, we were in bondage under the elements of the world. And the brothers brought out previous scriptures pertaining to the elements. Man, the things of this world are made up of the elements, which ultimately will be done away with.
And speaking on the foundation, when the Lord sent Yahweh to prepare the foundation, that's in contrast to when the Lord sent who was that? Ezra He sent Ezra and Zerubbabel to what? To rebuild the foundation and the altar. But then we had to stop building it for a time until the time of Nehemiah. But the Lord had the temple fully built with the wall. So in dealing with time, spiritually, this would be like the time of Nehemiah, where we are working to build the walls, seal up the walls, seal up the gates, seal up the breaches. You know, but the foundation had to be laid first. What happened when Ezra and Zerubbabel was sent by Cyrus the Great? And he told them to what? Build the altar first before they built the foundation stone for the temple. So the Lord was sent to build us up first, according to Daniel chapter 9, where he says what? To anoint the most holy. You know, build us up first, right? Yahushua, and then set the foundation with Peter. And then now come and build up the walls, and that's it, you know? So
building the altar first, giving sacrifice, and now when the altar was built with Yahushua, we give our bodies as a living sacrifice.
We able to give sacrifice again. You know, and then then you start the foundation stone. You know? So yeah.
The tabernacle of David. You know,
Tabernacle of David.
House, you know what I'm saying? You got to start the foundation first.
Right.
Because that foundation not firm, you know what I'm saying? Everything else collapses, you know.
Yep. And then Bardia, the imposter, Persian, he wasn't a Persian, he was an imposter. He made them stop building. And then in 520, they started building again with Darius. So 70 AD, we had to stop building. And now we're building again. Spiritually.
In the same spirit, because then how were we building? We were building with brick in one hand and swords in the other.
Swords in the other. That's right. And he said everyone that had a mind to work. So he had to have the mind to work, the will to do the work.
An able-bodied man.
Huh?
An able-bodied man.
An able-bodied man. Teach those that are able to teach others. Preach up. That's right. Yeah, we were.
This is Romans chapter 13, verse 11. It says, "In that knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, but now it's our salvation nearer than when we believe." It says, "The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light." I was just going into that because the scripture does say to measure the time diligently in itself, and always, be aware and observing the times, man. Our salvation is definitely there, man. Yahushua is almost at the door, right? They're waiting for us, man. Right? So the scripture says to cast out the works of darkness, man. When the scripture says, it says to be holy, to be set apart. So we're supposed to be set apart from this world and set apart from the wickedness, man.
He said, measure the time. He said, measure the time diligently within it. So meaning have diligence as you're measuring this time. Don't look for it like, oh, I got a little bit of time. Oh, this prophecy ain't happened yet. This prophecy ain't happened yet. No. Before these things even happen, we got to speak about it before they even happen. So we measure the time diligently, hastening the day. Because what did the brother bring up? We are no longer in bondage from the elements of this world. So we don't let the things of this world distract us anymore. Because we have to give due diligence to make our calling and election.
If you do get distracted, you admit it and you correct yourself. You get back on the path because we're human. You're going to get distracted, man. You're going to get distracted by family, anything, emotions. You're trying to figure your own mind out sometimes, all kind of stuff, man. But you got to get back on track immediately. And that's the race. That's the part. Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and sit upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie.
That's right.
Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
That's right. Can you start from the top? I'm going to stop you, though.
1.
Yeah. Not from where you was at.
3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak.
Yeah, my bad.
1. I will stand upon my watch.
Right. So look, boom. So we all only one that can stand upon their watch is the one that's in their lot. They were prophets in the old, they're prophets now. All right. So we stand upon our watch. When is that? Whenever the Lord put the spirit on you to do it. It could be in the day, night, afternoon, right? Anytime. Go ahead, brother.
And set me upon the tower,
Right? Go ahead. The tower represents your outshine. Okay, go ahead.
and will watch to see what he will say unto me.
Yep. So we're going to watch to see what the Lord is saying from the scriptures, from the prophets, from the brothers. You know, what time we in. How? Go ahead.
And what I shall answer when I am reproved.
So what are we supposed to answer? I repent. That's what we're supposed to answer. I repent. And the same thing that Samuel, what was his name? Eli, what he said to Samuel. He said, yo, next time you hear that voice calling you again, say, hey, I hear you, Lord. That's what we're supposed to say. All right, and that's for forgiveness. You know what I mean? Once we saw somebody bearing the Urim and Thummim, which is the knowledge and wisdom, once we see that, we're able to repent. You know? All right. That was it. He said, what? It shall speak and not lie. And not lie, man. All the prophecies are happening and scaring the hell out of people. But as they happen, they come up with their own narratives. You see the chariots, they say it's little green men. Or is it? It was in the Bible? Wasn't it in the Bible? Like, you can't remember all that stuff.
It's pride.
That's pride, man. The demons. All them demons crowd in their mind. And you got people like Nazariah over there at, what's it called? Israelite trying to deny it. Saying that 2/3 doctrine don't exist. You know what I'm saying? You see the World War III kicking off. You hear Esau and Jake talking about World War III. But for some reason, they don't think it's gonna happen. So they think preparing for it, you should store up food.
If I may add on, that's that spirit of you be a part of the devil. All right, it's pertaining to Esau, but hey, 2/3 of our people as well, man, being blinded up under the God of this world. You know, like Psalms 49, 59, and 11. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, they see this thing going on forever and ever. That way, they want to stop power and shit. And keep going on and on. They want to. They feel it's comfortable. They feel comfortable in their captivity. Man. You know, matter of fact, like Nate the Snake, you know what I'm saying? Like the brother was speaking on, the elder was speaking on, man. Yeah, all these prophecies coming to pass, but yet you don't want to take heed to them and want to admit that you're wrong or acknowledge that these prophecies are coming to pass, man. For instance, my favorite one is June. Ain't no microchip, you know what I'm saying? Which is your anniversary, man. It's June to this day right now. And guess what? A speaker of the goddamn nation is.
So June when we bring that up. So. June.
This is Psalm chapter 49 and 11. Their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
That's the pride. That's the pride of the heathen, man. Particularly the so-called white man, the devil, the Christian's counterpart of spiritual demon Satan. They think that their houses will continue forever because of the technology they have, because of the financial might that they have, that their kingdom is going to prolong. And that's the thought of 2/3 of our people as well, man. They believe in man ultimately and not the heavenly Father, man, the Creator. All right, and believing in man, they believe that man is going to be able to defend them and stop the Lord's plans, man. Which is straight vanity, man, and blasphemy. Because man ain't stopping what the Lord about to bring.
Precept. This is Job chapter 20. I'm gonna start at verse 4. It says, "Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach into the clouds, yet he shall perish forever, like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he?" All right, Khan, man, he's pretending to Esau, man, but hey, 2/3 of our people as well. They're not gonna be cut off forever, but hey, shit, they're gonna know that same must know that the death by pain, man, by falling after Esau. Scripture says, envy not the oppressor needs to choose none of his ways, but guess what? They're doing the complete opposite, man. Shit, envying the person choosing all of his ways, you know?
And it's funny you say that because back to Israelites try to deny it. All the ones that perish on this side have no way of making it into the kingdom according to their doctrine. According to their doctrine, so that just
you see how like you're talking like nobody knows what the hell you're talking about.
Right. That's crazy because the Most High made a promise that all of Israel shall be saved, and he's the author of perfect balance. But you can see the imbalancing of their doctrine because they don't want to believe in reincarnation. Reincarnation is real. It's all throughout the scriptures. Yahushua spoke on it pertaining to John being Elijah. All right, so you can't deny the truth. All right, so at the end of the day, you're going to see it get worse and worse and worse. That's why it is our job to be diligent in pushing this truth, because they're going to continue to push their lives, like the person just said. They're of their father, the devil.
Right. Real quick, what do you say? Live forever, right? He said they think their kingdom is going forever. That's the same thing they said in Nebuchadnezzar. All right. Real quick, come bring it real fast. This is Daniel chapter 2, verse 1. And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, which was what? Second year.
605,
604. He started ruling in 605, so the second year would be
604.
Dang. All right. Daniel dreamed a dream wherewith his spirit was troubled and his sleep. Nebuchadnezzar dreamed a dream, and his sleep brake from him. Then the king commanded to call all the magicians and the astrologers and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans for to show the king his dream. So they came and stood before the king. And the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. Now this is the point. Then spake the Chaldeans to the king in Syriac. He said, what? O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dream, and we will show thee the interpretation. So every time they spoke to the kings back then, they would say, live forever, rule forever, reign forever. And you see what happened to Nebuchadnezzar. You see what happened to the Babylonian kingdom. That's the same thing Esau saying today. Live forever. All right, go ahead, brother.
This is Psalms chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? So because these people and the heathens, starting with Esau and these other nations that's thinking they're going to come in rulership and power once America be taken down, they imagine a vain thing, man. The Lord said that the next kingdom to be established is the nation of Israel, man, starting with the elect. All right, but you have our people in this society thinking that their business is going to constantly go on, thinking that things is going to go back to normal when things is not, man. All right, America is starting to look as a third world country. That's what it's looking like, man. All these different cyber attacks, the cyber attacks on the water. Next is going to be on the food and so forth and more, man.
Right. Hey, you remember what happened to Nebuchadnezzar? He ran him out into the wilderness. Yeah. The Lord turned him, had him acting like a man, like a beast, like an animal. Well, this was what this idiot was saying before that happened. This is about Nebuchadnezzar. All right. Daniel 4:3. How great are his signs, and how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation. It's talking about Yahweh. He said, I, Nebuchadnezzar, was not supposed to say Nebuchadnezzar, supposed to say Nebuchadnezzar, because that was the grandson of Nebuchadnezzar. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at rest. See, that's Esau, they are at rest. I was at rest in mine house and flourished in my palace. And I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the visions of my head troubled me.
That's why they got UFO documents and shows and 60 Minutes doing specials on UFOs right now. They're scared.
Right. So all these nations are at rest.
And it was Nebuchadnezzar that actually seen the angel when they threw Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael into the fiery furnace. And they seen the Yahushua go into the fiery furnace and deliver them out. Of course, you boo-booed in the drugs when they seen that.
Yep. That was never what's his name? Belshazzar. Yeah, Belshazzar. He shitted on himself.
This is Zechariah chapter 1. You said at rest. Start at verse 11.
Hey, man. Go ahead, bro.
You got it. It says, and they answered the angel of Yahweh that stood amongst the myrtle trees and said, we have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, all the earth sitting still and is at rest.
There you go. That's right, man. So the whole earth, talking about the heathens, are at rest. The whole earth is at rest while we're in bondage. All right? And like taxes, we pay taxes to the big G's. Being here in America, we pay taxes to the elites. They get fraction. What do you call that? Fractional reserve currencies. Yeah, that's what they take. Fractions from your debit. When you debit something, you get $3 charge. They go to them. You buy something at the register, a little taxes from it. They go to them.
7 cents to the dollar.
Yep.
Jeremiah 51:12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. You know, prepare the ambushes, man, because ultimately, the Lord, he's about to enter into the house of the thief. You know, and the standard is the book. You know, the law, statutes, commandments of the Lord. All right. And make the watch strong, man. The spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets. And we are supposed to be upon our watch, man. Measuring the times diligently, like the brother brought out previously. All right. And measuring things according to prophecy, man. Watching the prophecies come to pass, man. And knowing what prophecies is left. And what prophecy have to come to pass ultimately for the Lord will show up.
Yep. And strengthening the bricks. You strengthen the wall, you're putting the wall together, just like in the times of Nehemiah. Brick by brick, it had to be fashioned a certain way according to the blueprint of the carpenter. And the carpenter in this sense is Yahweh.
That tempered mortar, you know, having that strong defense, you know, not having the untempered mortar that's talked about in Jeremiah, if I'm not mistaken, Ezekiel 13. Man. So hey, you want that tempered mortar, that way that wall, that foundation can be strong, man. You know, brick not falling out of place.
So this is like brother Carl. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 12. Verse 11. It says, "For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yahweh HaMashiach." So Yahweh is that foundation. You cannot lay any other foundation than the foundation that was already set up. You got to build on the blueprint. You can't come and add to the blueprint, because if you start adding to the blueprint, it's just like adding to the words of Yahweh HaMashiach. It's a certain way we're supposed to build. It's a certain brick that's supposed to go in a certain spot. You're supposed to use the correct mortar, not the untempered mortar.
Right. Everybody can't be the cornerstone.
And also, just to add on, scripture also tell you not to build on another man's foundation, man. So hey, that's just head start right there. You know?
And what happened when they finally put that last few bricks on the foundation, man? They said our people were screaming and yelling so much that it scared the heathens. It scared the nations around us, man. Them same nations, the Arabs, the Syrians, the Hamites, you know, a lot of the Nubian tribes, they always try to stop us from rebuilding.
That's what they got vocab Malone and stuff out here. These apologists.
Yeah.
That's trying to lure our people back into the Christian mindset, you know, to prod them from this truth, you know, because they scared of this truth.
Trying to stop us from building now.
Yeah, there you go. And they're trying to stop us from flourishing and going the right way. That's why they make $1 billion industries with these worldly nations like Africa, India. They get paid to cut their hair off bald and send it over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they get paid to send materials over here to us. That's wicked. You know, what's that? The port that gets shipped in from overseas. You know what I mean? What else?
Yeah, because in Africa,
Vegetation, shit like that.
Yeah, but in Africa, they were describing how the pigs, they use pigs to basically get rid of the trash. They put pigs on top of trash hills.
Yeah.
Instead of burning it up and putting it in the ozone layer like we do over here in America, they take pigs and put it on the trash hills, and the trash hills increase over time.
That's so
Yeah,
smart.
pigs ultimately eat trash.
That's what they put the people. Yeah. Like Esau take that and feed it to our people, put it in the pills and the scriptures and stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And children's candy and shit.
Yeah, everything is about patents. You know, so they are getting money off of patents, man. But let's keep going. Spirit. That was you. Right, bro.
This is First Timothy chapter 6, verse 17. It says, "Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor
Right,
trust."
so you can be rich, but you gotta be humble with it, man. You know, be lowly. All right.
Joe's a perfect example.
Yeah, you don't have to be like this. That's not what it means. You have to be able to humble yourself and still do the work. You know, in the spirit of Job.
it says that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living power. Yahweh Shah, who give us richly all things to enjoy.
Right. You see a lot of Jakes, what they say, man, I just gotta get this money, man. All my kids taken care of, that's all that matters to me. You know, I don't care what they got in it, I'm gonna just take it. You know what I mean? I just gotta make this money, bro. What else? That's how they are. Yeah, man. But you know, when it comes to this truth, they neglect it. You know, like Dame Dad, P. Diddy. He said, what's his name? P. Diddy, right?
Honeycomb.
Yeah, he got all these different names. he like literally changed. He legally changed his name to Love.
Nah.
I mean, Adam, T-Pain, he said he gonna take the brain thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He said he'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was on the 85 South Show with DC Young Fly, Carlos Miller. He said that. He said, yeah, I take it. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, and he was on he was talking to Mark Zuckerberg the other day. He was talking like a straight up Edomite.
Boy, can be auto-tune in real life.
But he a Muslim. He a Muslim. Like I had a chance to meet him, but I didn't want to. But he Muslim. I was like, you know, it's gonna be hard as hell talking to these dudes. They're all Muslims.
Yeah, he's been a Muslim since birth. His dad, his dad is deep in the Islamic community.
So people like that, they got the riches. You know, their mind is focused on riches, man. That's what we're talking about. All right, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, this is
You know,
this is an interjection. This is Sirach chapter 26, verse 4. Whether a man be rich or poor, if he have a good heart towards the Lord, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance.
Yeah, that's the scripture right there. That's my spirit, man. You know, rich or poor, as long as you praise the Lord, that's all that matters. You can get money, but are you gonna go out and teach? You know, are you gonna help the homeless and the poor? Are you gonna teach the right doctrine? Are you gonna be holding these holidays? Are you gonna get the chip just to make money? Look at DMX. You know, so there's a lot of stuff we can't talk about, but you know where it's going.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 2. Be not at variance with a rich man, lest he overweight thee. For gold have destroyed many and perverted the hearts of kings.
Right. So, you know, hey, he said be at variance.
Be not at variance.
Yeah, be not at variance, man. So, what does the word variance mean? Somebody look at the word variance.
What precept? Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 2.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people going chasing after gold, money, riches of this world, stuff that's not profitable for them, you know, due to their salvation. And it comes down to their salvation.
Quick interjection. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6. I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drawing men in destruction and perdition. We have a lot of people of our nation sell out for riches, man. You know, and it says what? It says going to the next verse in verse 10, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through the many through with many sorrows. So a lot of our people have erred from the faith, man. You know, some that may came in of the circumcision and started chasing after riches. And you just look at the normal Jakes today, man. You know, they don't even want to accept the scriptures, don't even want to hear it, man. They'd rather be working instead of hearing the word of the Lord, man.
And that's another generational curse. Just like how the elder was saying that, yeah, I know God can take care of my kids, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm worried about. But let's say you leave your kids a lot of money. Look whose face is on the money. That also promotes self-hate. All right, because now our children want to be like these individuals whose faces they see on the money. All right, so that's another generational curse. You know what I'm saying? What happens? You leave your children all this money, and then they flip the currency, which they're gonna do, and they denounce the dollar. Now your children are left with nothing and don't even know how to fend for themselves because you didn't give them the word. This is the only substance material that's really meaningful on this earth. But what did Solomon said? Solomon says he searched throughout all the deep and got knowledgeable on everything, and to realize that all of it is vanity and vexation of spirit. So at the end of the day, this is the only substance, the only thing that really matters, man. This is what we need to pass on to our children.
You brought up a definition yet?
Okay, waiting on.
Okay, look at it.
This is the word variance, etymology. It says the fact of undergoing change from Old French variance. It says change, alteration, doubt, hesitation, and this is and directly from Latin. I think it says variantia, from stem of variare, to change, meaning state of disagreement, or it's recorded from the early 15.
This said not hesitant. It said be not hesitant.
But it does have other definitions for it.
Yeah, I need to real quick.
You said it got doubt in there and change.
Yes, doubt, and hesitation.
Hesitation. Now can you read that precept again?
I said they were say be not doubt or hesitation. It's a rich man.
Make your choice quick.
Leviticus chapter 8, verse 2. Be not at variance with a rich man, lest he overweigh thee. For gold have destroyed many and perverted the hearts of kings.
There you go. Make your choice quick, man. Don't let them make a choice for you. Like somebody like Trump and Biden. You gotta make a choice now. Let the rich folks make the choices for you, man. Yeah. Boom, and then run back to brother.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 13, verses 23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he said. They install it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow was this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him.
Right, man. Right.
So they said, well, when a rich man speak, they're exalted, meaning they're take heed, they're exalted to the clouds. You know, praise what that man is saying. Like, look at these, for example, look at these entertainers. You know, that's on a higher in this society on a higher scale than a lesser one that have money. You know, our people will follow after what they're saying. But if it's a man of the Lord that's on a lower scale, they're just preaching the scripture. If we stumble, they'll scoff, they'll mock, they'll demonize you, they'll say you're a bum. They don't want to hear it, but they'll exalt somebody that's wicked in the society.
Prime example, Amari Stoudemire. We've been out here teaching for years the truth, and we the Israelites. He come on TV and say it one time, and everybody like, oh, he said we Israelites. I'm like, come on, man.
Same thing with the White Howard too.
They learn from us.
Right.
You know? Yeah. And they don't got it right. They don't got it all right. Because Amari Stoudemire, he's still getting tattoos, acting the same. You know, he got a full of dreads.
Shit, look at the churches. Look at the churches. They go there for the money.
Yeah.
What somebody said to me all the time. I know you know a lot, but you should go to college and get a plan. I'm like, you talking about everything I know. You mean I gotta go to college and get a certificate from them? Say I got some type of family.
Right.
Yeah.
I got a precept for that.
The truth ordained you.
For real. So Jeremiah chapter 1, we've been ordained from your house by Shem Yahweh from the beginning. Before we got to this earth.
Right.
I got a precept.
Go ahead. You got to speak on the
Galatians chapter 2, verse 8. Beware lest anyone teach you through false philosophy and empty deceit, according to the traditions of men, according to the basic principles of the world, and not according to Yahweh Shai.
All right, so what is the basic tradition of men? The universities being being unified under one verse, meaning one way of thinking, one logical way of thinking. So that's being a part of this world. But according to 1 Corinthians chapter 1, we don't. I think it's 1 and 12. We don't have the spirit of this world, or the spirit of Hamashiach. So that our ordainment should come differently than from the ordaining of this world, because you know what I'm saying, they are under the father, the devil. And this is the prince of darkness who's ruling the world at this present time.
So what is the philosophy? The philosophy: go to college, get a good job. You know what I'm saying? Get a 401k. That's philosophy. What everyday life that they teach in the society. And people that do that be miserable, man. You know, and just because you have your name on a piece of paper, don't clarify that you are intelligent or that you have wisdom or that you know what you're saying.
People can graduate from these colleges, they can graduate from these high up schools, and they can graduate and still be stupid. What it is, what do those degrees do? It gives you a certificate to be a part of the system. And what do they ask you at a job? You want to get a job, you have to have a degree. That means a certificate to be a part of what they're establishing. It doesn't matter if you know the job in and out, but if you don't have that certificate or that degree, you can't be a part of the system. They want you to be a part of it. That's what all these high school diplomas, college degrees, that's all it is for you to be a part of the system. That's to give you a license to do the ordinance of the heat.
They can't get a 501c3 charter. They can't get that 501c3 charter unless they got that. Unless they get some type of degree or certificate, get ordained. That's why you gotta go to a church and they'll try to ordain you at the church.
This is 2 Timothy 2:22 and 23. Free also your full lust of follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace, with them that call on the Lord out of the pure heart. But foolish and unlearned question avoid, unknowing that they do gender strife.
That's talking about some damn 2/3 doctrine that don't exist. So you said avoid them Negroes, man. Over at Israelites trying to deny it. Avoid them, man. Just avoid them. It ain't worth it. It's just doing gender strife. That's it. It's just gonna make you mad. You're gonna want to cuss them the hell out. And then they're gonna want to cuss you the hell out. So yeah, it's better to just keep teaching, doing the work, and be amongst your brothers that are in the same mindset as you. You know, of the truth. And what was the first part? Oh, not bad. And what this is what he said, rich or poor, just you gotta be humble. That's the definition of being humble, right there with the brother read. All right, not just walking around with your head low, calling yourself humble. That's humble right there. What the brother said. And follow these steps with the believers.
With other righteous men.
Yeah.
This is Proverbs chapter 14, verse 7. It says, go from the presence of a foolish man when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. So when you find out that somebody don't have the knowledge of Yahweh outside, go from their presence. You get away from them. You know, you don't deal with them because you cannot get edified. You cannot learn anything from them. So you must, all right, I'm gonna go see you later. Referring back to what the elder was saying.
Yeah, it ain't worth it at the end of the day. That's cast not your pearls before swine, or they'll turn and wrench you.
And so not among thorns. Because you don't end up pricking yourself. Because what are you gonna look like? Imagine to the innocent bystander that's trying to learn, and your head is hard against their forehead, and there's really nothing being exalted because you look like tyrants against each other at that point in time. Because they're not gonna believe what you're saying. You're not gonna believe what they're saying, and the innocent bystander on the side is gonna be all totally confused. It's not done for edification.
Kind of like the video of ISUPK and IUIC. Now out there on the street, just looking like ninjas with Bible.
Quick precept.
Doing land grabs.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 12. It says, and when ye come into a house, salute it, and if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it be not worthy, let your peace return to you. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. So whether they don't receive it or not, or they do receive it, whether they don't receive it, you're supposed to shake the dust off your feet. And if they do receive it, you're supposed to, salute it, bless them. They heard you, and that seed was planted. But if they don't want to hear it or don't want to receive it, you don't have to bother keep trying to bash in their head. You just wipe the dust off your feet. And this is what the words what Yahweh Shai said, man. So we don't even have to bother keep trying to get it.
Yeah, he said if you warn them, and if you're not warned, they don't take heed. Blood is off your hands.
You don't have to go word for word. All we have to do is plant that seed and put the truth out there, and let the chips fall where they may. That's the bottom line.
This is Psalms chapter 69, verse 22. Let their table become a snare before them, and that which should have been for their welfare, let it become a trap. Because because this is
This is what's going to be knowledge, wisdom,
That's Daniel. That's Romans 11.
and stability. Knowledge, wisdom, and stability. It's like stability. It's going to be the stability of that time. You know, so this is going to be your welfare. You know, not the riches of this world, things of that nature. You know,
Right, kicking off the rest of
Yeah, I'm on how much too.
We got real quick, Daniel.
I got it. Yeah. This is Romans chapter 11, verse 7. What then Israel have not attained of that which he seeketh for.
Never do it just then.
For it says seeking for, but the election have attained it, and the rest were blinded. And according as it is written, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai have given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they shall not see, and ears that they shall not hear until this day. And David said, let their table be made a snare, a trap, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them.
Right, so when they sit down to eat, you know, say something else.
Verse 10, it says, let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their back always.
Right, so what was meant to enlighten them or wake them up, the scriptures has literally become their judgment now. What do you call it? The stumbling stone, the rock of recompense, the rock of offense. Yeah, can we get that, please? Because there's a point in there. Because if Yahushua didn't let them persecute him, then the Lord wouldn't have judged them. All right? Just like today, he got us out here teaching. The Lord is setting them up just like he set up Pharaoh to come against us, and then the Lord has more reason to judge them. All right? Yeah, the rock of offense.
Now this is the stone.
Stone of the builders accused. That is not about the builder.
That's what we
This is Acts chapter 4,
Yeah, two of them.
4 verse 10. Yeah, I'm looking for the other one. I said, be it known unto you all and to all the people of Israel that by the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, whom he crucified, whom Yahweh raised from the dead, even by him does this man stand here before you whole. This is the stone which was set at naught of you builders, which has become the head of the corner. All right, this is First Peter chapter 2. I'm starting verse 8. And a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereunto also they were appointed. So Yahweh shines that rock of defense, man. All right, because at the end of the day, we are justifying our sayings, man. You know, they're not speaking to the law, to the testimony, or speaking of the testimony of Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no light in them, man. Because Yahweh Shai did come in the flesh, did be the sacrificial lamb unto the nation of Israel, and is on his way back to deliver his elect, man. You know, that's our rock of defense. They cannot, none of our people or these heathens cannot say Yahweh Shai does not exist, man. They cannot say that he was not on this earth. We have the record. We have the record right here that he was here, man, and that he taught the disciples, man. So he is our rock of defense.
It's a rock of offense to them. Right. Because they offended, you know.
They are offended. It's like when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, and how many people left him that one day? 70 had left, and then he turned around to the rest of the disciples and said, "Will y'all be offended of me?" Because all he said was like, "You shall drink my blood and eat of my flesh." But he was talking about, you get what I'm saying? He was talking about the Passover, the last, what they call the Last Supper. But they were so caught up in emotions that they didn't understand what he was saying unto them, and he became a rock of offense unto them.
Because Yahweh Shai said, blessed is he that's not offended in you. So you would be considered blessed, not being offended in the Lord, man. Because he's there for our help, not for our destruction. But for 2/3, he's going to destroy them. You know, because they're offended in the truth.
Right. Like you say, he's for our help, because the scriptures say, it's his will to give us the kingdom. So that's what we ultimately are pointed to, man. The righteous, the kingdom, the blessings. But 2/3, they're not gonna get that blessing on that first try, man, they got to be condemned on this side, man. They gonna be in the kingdom with their head down.
Somebody grab Revelation 22 and 10.
This Revelations 22 and 10. And he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecies of this book, for the time is at hand.
Right, man. So, who was that, bro? John. He was talking to John. All right, he told him, seal not the prophecies of this book. All right, that's what we're doing. We're not sealing it up anymore. All right, it's all about the prophecy. He said, because the time is at hand. Now it's time to put it out there. Keep putting it out there. We've been doing it. Start from apostles on down, man. For our business. Right? Go ahead.
This is Hebrews chapter 2, verse 3. How shall we escape if we neglect so great salvation, which at the first began to be spoken by the Lord and was confirmed unto us by them that heard him? You know, as you hear, just backing up the elder, you know, we confirming that word, man, with Yahweh Shai, you know, as far as our salvation. So we have to take heed to this and grab the word, which is able to save our souls. You can bring it up one time. Hebrews 2, verse 3. It says, how shall we escape if we neglect so great salvation, which at the first began to be spoken by the Lord and was confirmed unto us by them that heard him?
That's 2/3 of our people, man. They neglect such good salvation, man. You know, through the Lord Yahweh Shai, man. They don't want to take heed that that's the true safety, the Lord Yahweh Shai, all right? They want to still continue calling on sweet baby JC, you know what I'm saying? Continue going down that route. That's not going to get you anywhere. Suffice for a time. Let's talk about the second Esdras, man. You know, you receiving benefits for this time, but hey, later on, the same was more like death by pain. You know why? Because the Lord Yahweh Shai been calling out to you through the mouth of his prophets, but yet you've been rejected now, man. You know, like the brother DeBar brought out earlier in 1 Peter chapter 2 and 8. You know what I'm saying? You don't take heed to that cornerstone, so shit. When it comes to that time, how you gonna obtain salvation, man? Why? Because that salvation was being spoken into you, all right, throughout your whole time, man. You know, but you rejected it, right?
But they rather accept Juneteenth, though.
June 14th.
No, it's 19 today.
It's Isaiah 52.
And to neglect the salvation would be to be sleep. All right, go ahead, bro.
It's Isaiah 52, 62, and 6. And this is basically laying back the scripture we brought out in Revelations 22 and 10 on how a seal not the sayings of this prophecy, you know, give them no rest, you know, until he make Jerusalem, you know, he established the kingdom ultimately. And this Isaiah 62 and 6, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence. Give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth.
Right? He's talking about give the Lord no rest. keep calling on him, keep crying out, you know, gird up that loins like a man and pray to him, man. Keep going out there and teaching. All right, and give these heathens no rest. All right.
Because they're not giving us no rest. All this wickedness that we see upon the face of the earth.
Right. Somebody get 1 Thessalonians 5 and 7.
I'm already here. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 6. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us, who are of the day, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation.
There you go, man. The hope of salvation. And you got a lexicon on your phone?
Nah.
Somebody got a lexicon on their phone? Look at that verse and go to the word sleep.
Oh, 1 Thessalonians 5, 6.
7. Look at that word sleep real quick. He said, those that sleep in the night. And we're in the night, a dark time right now, going into the day, which is the kingdom. In the same way Yahweh Shai, when he was raised from the dead at the crack of dawn, as soon as that sun hit the horizon, as soon as it's time for our kingdom to come in, and that peaks over the horizon, this place done. I'm sorry, I'm saying Yahweh Shai.
So
Yeah, and He's gonna give us spiritual powers in the midst of Jacob's trouble, man. We might be tested at first, the hour of temptation, but somewhere in there He's gonna give us spiritual ability to keep us until the chariots take us out of it. He's gonna give His angels charge over you, right? To keep thee in all thy ways. You're gonna be like a puppet. Slap shit out of somebody, slap the head off. Did I just do that to you?
You 10 toes the fuck down.
Said sleep.
Oh no, not right now. Go out. Sleep.
This is G2518. It says to lay down to rest.
Ooh, see, our people are resting. And what is that? Judah crouched like a lion? The old lion?
Like a lion's whelp?
Genesis.
It might be. Who shall rouse? Anybody know that one? Anybody? Genesis.
This is I'll go straight to it. This is Genesis 49:9. Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art grown up. He
right, real quick. The lion's whelp represents a young lion. All right, good.
It says he stooped down, he crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up?
Right, so as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? He couched as a lion. See, Judah is the top tribe. Just like Ephraim is the top tribe. Ephraim, the top tribe of the northern kingdom. Ephraim led the rest of the northern kingdom over here in the 3rd century AD. We got led over here around the 1400s. All right? Judah, Benjamin, Levi. And now what? He said, we came over here and we rested, like we came over here on cruise ships, and we even got to the damn island of America resort. Yeah, it was a paradise island. It was really the bitterest island you can think of.
Like
Skull Island.
Like a valley of dry bones.
Valley of dry bones. You know what I'm saying?
Old man, so.
Yeah, man. So
Valley of shadow death.
So when our people are resting in that, you gotta think about it. And to rest means what? To do something naturally, or to be caused to rest. All right, and to rest naturally would mean to be carnal. All right, to rest spiritually would be to be put to rest righteously, like Tobit and Yahushua is doing. All right.
You want to go to verse 10?
Where are we at? Sleep. That was what the definition of sleep. Look at that.
It says to fall asleep, drop off to sleep normally.
That's normal. That's that carnal.
And euphemistically to be dead.
Damn.
It says to yield to sloth.
To yield to sloth.
Sin.
Just like the prayer of King David, and he said, "Bow down, not back." Always, you're going to bow down, and means forced to basically transgress against him. He's gonna force you to go against him.
Yeah.
It's to be indifferent to one's salvation.
That's the point. That's the point. To be asleep, that means to be indifferent to it. Basically not aware that salvation is developed. That's why he said what was meant for good turned to bad form.
That's why Jacob say, "Oh, we all gonna die anyway." You know.
Having no more.
You think we'll get out of this shit, man? You think the white folks, Caucasians will be able to move out of power? Of course, yeah, man. You know, that's when we get that divine intervention. You know? That's called having hope.
I mean,
That's called having hope.
let P. Diddy tell you, man, he made a video on Instagram. He said, they've been waiting, ain't nobody coming to save us, man.
I heard that. I was on that.
You know
I was on that like Steve Hattie.
Yeah.
That's why I left him alone, man.
Yeah, dude, crazy, man. He's talking about something trying to build black wealth, man.
I was on that one, man.
Yeah, they talking about that.
And that's the thing in itself, right? So like, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to build black wealth, quote unquote, but at the same time, how long that's gonna last? But yet you don't know how long that waiting gonna last. You don't know how long that building black wealth is gonna suffice. It's not gonna suffice at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Gold is a defense, money is a defense, but hey, at the end of the day, the knowledge of wisdom and understanding of the Lord, y'all watch y'all shot, that's what's gonna get you out of here.
But that scripture was referring to gold and silver as being money as a defense. So how the hell are you gonna build black wealth when their faces is on the dollar?
Man, show me somebody black.
God.
That's what scripture saying too. Want to get on the agree. They can play all they want. That's what I put on there. I said, yo, how y'all gonna build a community? When they gonna build a community with everybody that believes that.
Come on. And then they trying to build a community. They talk about waiting and shit. Hey, you waited with the Black Wall Street. You happen to that. You know what I'm saying? So
they literally got
then what's gonna happen? You expect a different outcome?
Because that's what the police was saying at the time. They was afraid that their economy would surpass theirs, so they had to get rid of it by bombing.
Come on with it. Now, what do you see the boy Diddy Love doing again? What do you see him doing? He's saying, yo, buy black. And you think Esau ain't watching that? No, you don't want to spend that out still with me? They see that.
Right.
They watching that. If it ain't black, I don't drink. Remember that? If it ain't black, black man don't drink. So my bottles.
Yeah.
But why not do that with a vegetable drink? If it ain't black, black man don't drink.
Just trying to help keep our people drunk.
Trying to help keep our people asleep. All them cats that got bottles out. Yeah. Everybody doing that's some big favor when they say buy black. No, that's a promotion. Buy their drink. If they really cared, they would say buy black and buy rice. Buy
capitalism. They just paying their game.
And the
precept.
Oh, Con. And I was about to say, hey man, America is just that modern day big house, you know. And then your today's house niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? Who's leading you astray?
Yeah, because Jay-Z don't own Deuce or P. Diddy wouldn't own Ciroc. They just in the basis of it. You might down 9 times out of 10, but
they doing for the clout.
And then if they all for that, then 50 Cent on effing, you see how that shit's starting to take. They're not like anything that's really black owned or so-called black owned. They're not supporting and get behind.
And then if it is shit, once that shit finally boom, well, that's what they end up doing. Selling Dr. Dre Beats, shit, gone. Sold the album. You know what I'm saying?
Jay-Z just sold the whole platform, his music platform.
Hey, look at BT.
I thought. Cannot let me. Cannot, you told me that Ja Rule didn't own Murder Inc. As much as he was shouting it out, I thought he owned it.
No, Herb got it on Murder Inc. But yeah,
but they got too big where the feds brought them down.
Yeah, so that was murder. I'm in shit right here, because this is the precept bring out because people always talk about wealth and riches. They always got their mindset on it. So this is what the scripture says about that. This is Proverbs 23:5. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. So, I would love to talk about money. They love to set their mind on this money. You don't notice this dollar's going to collapse. It's going to get phased out. Yes. They talk about all this, get this and this high value bull crap and all this other stuff. Well, why would you set your mind on something like that? Money fly away. As soon as you get money, it's out of here. It's gone. That's what prices go up, your money ain't going up.
In every kingdom we have money, it always happens to play.
Scripture says, lay not up yourselves treasures on earth, up in heaven.
Right. Rich is not going to save you in the damn judgment.
What you gonna try to pull out your billfold when your house shot show up? Oh yeah.
Now what are they offering now? They're offering what? $6,000 in Philadelphia certificate to do that. Now here they're offering
a position in the $1 million lottery.
Yeah,
talking about for that?
Oh, come on. Yeah, Yeah, I was just talking about, oh, you know, they offering goddamn Lamborghinis and shit like that, mansions and different things, man. Hey, they really pulling people cards, man. Come on, bills, you need all that. You need to pay them
Another motherfucker. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. It says, no, verse 1. It says, but of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for ye for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord Yahweh Shai so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them as travail upon a woman with child. They shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness. That
what does it mean? Unexpected. You can be waiting for the pregnancy. It's gonna be around this time. It's gonna be around this time. You can see the prophecy and let you know what time when. But then it's going to happen when the water breaks. Blood, he said, the breach ready to fall.
Verse 4, it says, but ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief.
Right, and also, what happens with a baby in the womb? It has to be full grown before they be born. The Lord said he's growing all the prophecies up. Once they're complete and the plagues, that's when he's going to bring them.
Ye are all the children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober.
Oh, and if I may add on, you know, just like the brother brought out, you know, let us watch and be sober, man. You know, like 2/3 of our people and also these other heathen nations are, right? Going back to the point that the brother brought out earlier, you know, they lost within the money, man. You know, that's another way that they're saying peace and safety, all right, with this whole economical system, monetary system, all right? Oh yeah, the US dollar this, the US dollar that, you know what I'm saying? Especially with our people, all right? Oh yeah, I'm getting money, this, that, and the third, but not knowing the more money that you get and shit, the more it's being devalued. And the more that the prices around you are going up, man. You know, it was this one article, all right, inflation went up 5% and it's expected to go up to 10, all right, by the end of this month, and we in the middle of it, man. You know, so with that being said, shit, you talking about, you see your bread and egg prices going up, your housing prices, shit, it went up $2 or whatever the case may be, $1 or whatever the case may be. Hey, it's everything about the skyrocket, man. You can prepare each month, all right, for something different, and then it's going to trickle down from months to days to weeks, well, months to weeks to days to hours, man, to minutes. Shit, it's going to keep going and going. You know?
What's the main sign of a crashing economy? Is they give the citizen stimulus.
And that's the trend that's going on right now. They're showing out this $1,000 sign-on book on this for everything, you know, for jobs or for you can take that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm saying people.
I mean, I know 23 countries just dropped the United States dollar.
Russia being one of the main countries.
And China, you know,
They're gonna invest in other. They're investing in gold, silver, and the euro.
When China does it like Russia, because China is the majority of America's debt. So when China does that, then you're gonna see all hell broke loose because it's gonna collapse the world economy because the world is in debt. And the Britain and America are the two major holders of the world debt. And with the feds running everything, dealing with the dollar, that shows you how the global economy is going to react. What is that going to do? That's going to bring in the mark of the beast, man.
All right, because when America became indebted to Europe in the 30s, right? That debt, it became so big, right? That China had to buy up half of it. And what they did was they started buying it, selling it back to the Fed, buying it, selling it back to the Fed. Fed selling it to them, they buying it back and forth, looking out for America that keeps them rich. So they were like, let's keep this going. And now they're like, yo, we done with this. That's literally our economy right there. Them passing that money back around. You know? And so now that they're doing that, that's a dollar collapse. They've all lost faith in that dollar. I mean, all those dollars from around the world that got sent out from America, it's all come back to America to roost. What did that mean? All those nations that bought the debt from China, like Iran, all these different countries they don't know about, they bought that debt. So what happens is what? All those nations, they're going to send that money back. We don't want it. They can't just send it back. Where are they going to send it to? What they're going to do is they're going to spend it. And they're going to buy up land. They're gonna buy up everything that's leased. Solid contracts, houses. They're gonna buy it up, and that's when they're gonna own America. And they're gonna start attacking.
Like how they say, China owned California.
Yeah, they own New York. They own Wall Street.
Texas too.
They bought up. Yeah, they bought up Wall Street already.
And that's where all those cyber attacks been going at. Texas, New York,
Yeah.
everything like California, about Utah.
Yeah, they can do what the hell they want now. They own it.
And that makes sense because that's why the housing market is the way it is. You have all these investors buying up all the property. It's terrible to try to buy a house right now. Houses that were around maybe 150,000 around the 2008 to 2014 crash, they're now being appraised at over 250,000. So that's almost 100% markup from back when the first crash happened in 2008. Obama.
That was 2015. That was the housing crash. You were in 2008. They got the stimulus in 2015.
They're trying to stimulate it back up and pump it back up. But all these houses being taken off the market, these are investors. These aren't people buying these houses. These are investors buying these houses. They buying all these plots and houses and sitting on them.
What is it called? Bailout, not stimulus.
Bailout. Government bailout to these major corporations.
So they're not really, so the houses, they're not really selling because my number, whoever owned my number before me, they used to sell houses because people are texting and calling me like, hey, what about that house on Marvell Street? So that's what y'all basically saying, like the house is just sitting there, like they can't sell it to nobody.
They can't sell to nobody. It depends on who's gonna be the food, who grew the food that like the bait. The bait is this: I sell your house for cheap, foreclose or whatever. You buy it, you gotta still pay mortgages and taxes on the house. Next thing you know, the taxes go up. They profit it up. Yeah, they sell it to everybody. Everybody buy a house. They wait. After everybody bought the houses, they hike the price up. Now everybody can't pay it. They gotta get out. And then what they do, they decrease the price again, foreclose it, put it on the market. Somebody else buys it for cheap. They do the same thing.
Yeah. A lot of banks will be owning the property. Going back to the bank, go back and forth.
Yeah.
To people buying it, like how the elder was describing. China was buying into the debt with the feds, and they were going back and forth with that.
These banks aren't giving out loans anymore because the interest rate is so high. Can't nobody get into these houses. So that's why you got investors buying these houses. They sitting on them. So what does that do to the economy? Because most of these investors groups are from out of the country. So there's none of that money being, even though that stimulus is being popular, none of that money is being circulated in America. So what are they doing? They're going online to Amazon, which everything's being imported from over here, and they're buying all this stuff.
Right? What they're saying, you're gonna rent everything.
And
another thing is, they're saying you will own nothing and be happy.
God damn.
if I may add on, just like the brother said, like Scripture said, it's just a big loop, man. You should go to your enemy for the one of all things, man. So even on the mortgage, you know what I'm saying, you don't own your house because if you don't pay that mortgage, the bank coming to get your shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big loop, man. You know, I just want to throw that out there.
Which a bank is a private entity, but shouldn't even be able to take ownership of that home. You know, after it's going into foreclosure and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you know what some
that's
people,
robbery.
you know what some people were doing when I was in Missouri, old people? They were putting lien on the house that they own. And since they put the lien first on their name, now they can't take the property.
Right.
So I don't know if that was working or not. But it was
Yeah, the lien ain't gonna really stick though. Nah. They're gonna run up foreclosure in the bank. Yeah.
But what they're gonna say is when the bank takes the house away, because my cousin bought a house that had a lien on it. But what he did, he got the house for so cheap, he paid the lien off. You see what I'm saying? So they can still take the house with the lien being on there, but it just takes a little bit longer time. Just like if you go into bankruptcy, it takes a little bit longer for them to take the house.
This is a system, so they got nothing but that.
Right.
So they think.
The only thing in this society that we truly own is hope and faith.
Right, let's keep rocking with the scriptures. Y'all know the scriptures speak now. He said, scriptures say, we're gonna speak these words in accord with our words. So we're gonna say our thoughts, but then you wrap it with the scriptures.
Back in Genesis 49, start at verse 10, the sepulchre shall not depart from Judah.
Oh, sepulchre. That's great.
The the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Right. And oh, you gotta go to 9.
About verse 9.
We ain't finished that.
Back in Genesis chapter 49, verse 9. It says, Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art grown up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up?
Right, we did read it, but I'm gonna go again.
Come.
But the word couch, if you look at a lion, you see him laying down, laying out, like a Persian rug or something. You see him laying out like in the jungle. But the thing is, you see an old lion laying down like that, and they haven't. It's harder for them to bite. It's hard for them to chase any food. They kind of gotta be right there for them. And if they lay down, that's when they're usually about to die out. It's harder for them to get up. You know what I'm saying? I actually watched the whole documentary on it. And once that old lion lays down, they'll sit a certain way or they'll stand a certain way. But after a while, that laying down, that's like a form of giving up. You know what I'm saying? And if they haven't eaten, they're going to die just like that. So the Lord's saying that about us. If we haven't eaten His word, we'll be crouched down in this place and die off. Old lions, ancient lions. All right, let's get Jeremiah 30:7. This ain't good. This ain't even less.
Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
Right. So alas, for that day is great, right? It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. So he says it's gonna be a time of great trouble, but it's even the time of Jacob's trouble. See that? And he said, "What? But also Israel shall be saved out of it." What does he mean by it? Come back to that remnant. Sand of the sea, remnant.
This is
There's many. That's a few other scriptures we can get, but I'm gonna keep it moving.
This is Romans chapter 9, verse 27. It says, Isaiah also cried concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved.
All right. Wanna go back to that scripture, brother?
Back in Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. It said, Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
There you go, man. All right. So Jacob represented who?
Israelites.
Well, not all Israelites. He said, not because they're the seed of Abraham are they all Israel, right? So this is the point. He's talking about the elect of Israel. Sure, bro. All right. Where we at? He shall be saved out of it. Okay.
This is 1 Peter chapter 4 and 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh? So a judgment ultimately will come. All right, but hey, like as the scriptures say, judgment will start at his house first. All right, so we got to be in order, man. We got to have our house furnished with the word, all right, and be upon our watch, man, because he's going to come as a thief in the night. But the point there is mainly, all right, the judgment is going to come, all right, but it's also going to come upon Jacob as well, man. It's going to start at the Lord's house first, man. He's going to chasten us just as he chastened his son, man, because he loved us before he loved the nations,
All right, man.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, starting at verse 3. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you. And what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire and stubble when it had begun to burn?
That's Jacob's trouble, man. Everybody gonna be able to put it out. You're gonna quench it, man. You don't have the right tools for it. See, the Lord gonna give us the tools to quench the fiery darts of the wicked. Hey, brother, can you get 2 Ezra 2:34? 2 Ezra 2:34. Anybody appreciate it? Okay. 2 Ezra 2:34.
It's 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 20. It says, "So I considered the world, and behold, there was perils because of the devices that come into it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect." So that's basically going in. There's going to be a remnant. Just when the elder said, "Not all Israel are of Israel, neither are they the seed of Abraham," meaning he kept the remnant and preserved the remnant through from the beginning all the way through the end, with dealing with Jacob's trouble. And like the elder said, we're going to be equipped, when we're part of that number, to survive through all the way to the end.
It said, let the multitude perish. So when it says this world was made for many, but the world to come was made for few. So that go back. The world to come is going to be the first group, starting with the elect, that remnant that's going to taste of that first, cut of the pie, man. That kingdom.
Right. I was looking for that precept. What's the other one that basically Esau, they grab all the grapes? If not, they would have left none of them. They come. So basically, I was looking for that one too. I was trying to get them to go together. But basically, going back to Jeremiah 30:7, a remnant of Jacob is going to be saved, man. Just like the brother scripture that the brother Canuck brought out. It's going to be a remnant of those gleaming grapes that's going to be left on that vine, man. Because Esau seeking whom he may devour, all right, to bring down with him, all right. Why? Because that he have a short time. So therefore, we got to constantly be in the spirit, man.
That's something to be excited about. If you feel excited, you should be, man. You know what I'm saying? Brother, every time you say it, they be smiling. I like that shit. That shit, yeah. For real, man. That's wild, bro. Yeah, let's knock this one out. Thanks for strong for the camera, brother. I'm gonna stop there a couple times.
And therefore I say unto you,
Second Ezra 2:34.
the 2 Ezra 2:34. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen, that hear and understand, look for your shepherd.
Ooh, so you're talking to the heathen. Who is he talking to? Somebody that you without hope, without Yahushua in the world.
Ephesians chapter 2.
He trying not to. All right, we'll get this real quick and we're gonna jump right back to where you was at and start reading it.
Without hope, outside the world. Yeah. This is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11. "Wherefore remember that ye being in past time, in time past, Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called a circumcision, and that in the flesh made by hand."
Right. What does the word Gentile mean? Strange or nation. All right. Now our people became heathens. So that's what the Lord is talking to. He's saying, "Yo, you heathen." Revelation 11. Matter of fact, Revelation 11:8. That's the point right there.
This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified."
Great, man. And what's that? Ezekiel 37? Yeah. Somebody grab
Ezekiel
Jeremiah 2:41.
This verse 20.
All right. Go ahead and get these those things up first, and then we'll go to Ezekiel. Oh, we done.
Jeremiah
2:21.
All right, it's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 21. "Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, holy and right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?"
That's us becoming strange to the commonwealth of Israel. No longer going according to the customs, the laws, statutes, and commandments, going our own way, falling behind the heathen. So we became strangers unto Yahweh. In other words, Gentiles. All right, so we were brought back nigh to Yahweh through Yahweh, through the blood of Yahweh Shai. That's the only way we have a chance of salvation, the way Yahweh Shai did. Or what Yahweh set Yahweh Shai up for.
Right. Right, brother.
2 and 9, right? 2 and 21.
Right. Somebody grab Ezekiel 37 and 10.
You got it.
37 and 10, all the way to 13.
All right, Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 10. It says, so I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dry, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel.
Right. That was he was saying that's not just going to happen, but this is going to happen with it. Go ahead.
Verse 13 of Ezekiel 37. And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves.
Right. So the fact that he brought us into this truth, he said we're going to know his name. All right. Go ahead, brother.
This is Amos chapter 9, verses 11. And in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all of the heathen which are called by my name, said the Lord Yahweh that does this.
Right. Woo! That's him. He said all the heathen that are called, meaning he called them heathens. All right. He said what? What it said, he gonna close up the breaches thereof, meaning only the elect gonna be able to get the truth. That goes back to Romans 11.
I got Revelations 11.
Oh, Revelation. You got something else? Yeah, good.
It's Revelations 11 and 11.
Yes, we moving quick with the precepts, but the point still.
It says, after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Right. So basically, that's us rising again after being asleep in the grave. So he'll open up our graves and put us to rest, meaning give us this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We're going to go back on our feet and do what we're doing now. Man.
Right, man. Ezekiel 37. You know, and so he called us heathens. All right, we were heathens, man. And heathen mindset. So he said, the ones that have ears that hear and eyes to see and the mind to understand, that's what he's talking to. Go ahead, brother.
It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 8. For you were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord, while as children of the light.
Right. Go ahead.
Trying to go on the point that Elders was just talking about, man. We was once darkness, man, doing the things of the world. But coming into this truth, the Lord has revived us, man, renewed us. So now we are walking as that light, shining our light in the darkness of this world.
Right. And he's saying, and also he's saying this: you're not just going to know you're an Israelite and walking around like I'm an Israelite, waiting to get taken back to Jerusalem. He said you're going to know who did it. He said, and we're going to know him. Right? So we're going to know the one that brought us out of the grave. Okay, so we can acknowledge him. All right, let's get that precept, brother. So now we understand that we were part of that heathendom, the nation. All right. We said, scatter among the heathen.
I got a quick precept.
Real quick, yeah. You remember that? Okay. Real fast, then we're gonna let the brother knock this off.
This is Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. It says, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy inheritance that I have gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. You know, just basically, how the elder was speaking on, man. What we were once on the other end of the barrel of the gun, instead of holding it, we done basically been on both ends of the gun, being from that heathenistic mindset of not knowing who the Lord is, being a heathen, being not able to acknowledge the God of the Bible,
He stripped that knowledge away from us for disobeying his law, statutes, commandments. We fell up under the curses.
Right, man. Let's get this real quick. You got one? I got one. Jeremiah 17:4.
All right, it's Baruch chapter 2, verse 29. It says, if ye will not hear my voice, surely this great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivity they shall remember themselves. And they shall know that I am the Lord, Yahweh, their power. For I give them an heart and ears to hear.
He's saying right there. This is a no. It's a no that he brought us out the grave.
Right. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivities and think upon my name.
That's so clear, man.
Right.
IUIC said what? We're not going to know the name. The Lord said we're going to think upon his name in the place where we're captive.
One more verse 33, it says, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers which sinned before the Lord. And I will bring them again unto the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished.
Right, right. And Abraham, basically Abraham and all the other prophets are back here today. You'll notice that Isaac not back here. Isaac was Yahushua, just like Solomon was Yahushua, just like Adam was Yahushua. All right. Matter of fact, since we're talking about that, somebody get 2 Corinthians 1 and 37. All right. And somebody grab Jeremiah 17:4.
This is
somebody got 17.
I got 17.
Okay.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 37.
Oh no, Jeremiah 17:4. 4.
This is Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. It says, and thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine inheritance that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Right, man. Which shall burn forever, meaning forever on that flesh that's from Adam. All right, and the Lord's going to discontinue that flesh and give us a new flesh, the way He'll love us and care. We'll be in His graces. All right, He gave us Yahushua so that our spirit had His good graces. All right, but He hates the wicked forever, to the point where He burned them up. And then in the kingdom, He's going to forgive them. All right, people like Nate Satan and Jay-Z, Creflo Steal Your Dollar, you know, all these murderers, you know, Bubble Out Black friends, yeah. So the Lord said we were going to discontinue from our heritage and become heathens, man. But you got freedom? Yeah. All right, look, I'm going to go ahead. Sure. But if that's the case, bring this up real quick. Nice shot.
This is 2 Andrews, chapter 1, 37. I take to witness the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness.
Right, that's why we rejoicing in gladness. We represent the little ones, right? Rejoicing in gladness, right? Go ahead.
And though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in spirit they believe the thing that I say.
Right, so in spirit we believe in the thing that He said. Right? But now He said He's going to send these prophets. Now Ezra was around during the time of 453 BC. This was after Abraham, after Isaac, after Malachi, and all these prophets, man. They were already dead and gone. So watch this. Go ahead, bro.
And now, brother, behold what glory. And now, brother, behold what glory, and see the people that cometh from the east, unto whom I will give for leaders Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Oseas, Amos, and Micah, Joel, Amadeus, and Jonas, Nahum, and Habakkuk, So
Obadiah. Amadeus is Obadiah. It's like Latin Greek. Yeah, Abadias is Obadiah. Yeah. And then you got Habakkuk is Habakkuk.
okay. They whom Habakkuk. So
Sophones.
Yep.
Somebody look these up. Because it's like Greek Latin. I can't remember what Amos is. I think Amos is yeah. And the next one, the Agus, that's Haggai.
Haggai.
Yeah, same thing.
Zechariah and Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Lord.
Right. And how did the Lord send these prophets back? They back on the earth. And through the scriptures they lead us. You see that? They lead us through the scriptures, and those prophets are back here on the earth as angels. But the Lord said He's going to send all these prophets, right?
That's Zephaniah. I'm not saying.
Zephaniah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zephaniah. Sophones, yeah, Zephaniah. And then what did the Lord say? Somebody get Malachi 3:1. So this is who it started with.
So this is Malachi chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Lord of hosts."
Right, that's talking about Prophet John, who's called Elijah. So the Lord was saying, those prophets that were spoken of in Ezra, that's why he got Malachi right next to it. He was talking about when Yahushua came on the scene. That means when you see John following up beside that, you're going to see Yahushua. All right, then. But what did it say, brother, again? The last part about Yahushua showing up?
It says, "Whom ye delight in, behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts." Matter of fact, let me just start from right here.
Yeah, let's start from top.
Malachi 3:1, it says, "Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord, Yahushua, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts."
Right, now, is this talking about the time with John? Let's find out. Go to the next verse.
Verse 2. None. It says, but who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap.
That's right. So that's talking about Yahushua, man. All right. That's when he shows up, he's gonna be the refiner's fire. Yahweh using him to refine us, man. See that? So that's talking about now, man. That's talking about these days. You know, Yahushua showed up to anoint us in preparation for today. Whenever you see John, you already know the follow-up is going to be Yahushua. All right. So now that John was here, as Elijah or Abba Business, now we expect to see Yahushua showing up as a refiner's fire. All right. To deliver the ones that believe. Let's get that now, bro. Second Ezra's, get that fire, bro. 2 and 34. Corey, where you at? Look at it. Oh, okay.
He shall give you everlasting.
Before you read all this, call out where you're at.
Second Ezra.
Take some getting used to it, bro.
This is Second Ezra 2 and 34. He shall give you everlasting rest, for he is not.
Where you at?
2 and 34.
Therefore I say unto you.
Read from the top.
Oh, yeah, come.
And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen that hear the understanding, look for your shepherd. He shall give you everlasting rest, for he is not at hand. That shall come in the end of the world.
There you go. All right, so we just broke all that down. This is verse. So look for your shepherd. So we're supposed to be looking for him, man. But these people aren't looking for him. You know?
Or denouncing.
They denouncing them, yeah. They say, what do they say? Cause the Holy One to flee from before us. You know?
Crucify him in the flesh.
Right.
Because in that same book in Malachi is the proof of basically Elijah. Because without Elijah being John the Baptist, without Elijah, walking in the flesh, bearing this truth, our business, we won't be able to come into the fold. We won't have the apostles standing for this truth for 30 plus years. And us to come into the fold, ultimately seal the elect.
Right, man. So this is just more proof, man, of what we're a part of. And the joy that you're feeling, you can amplify that. Because he said, those that seek righteousness, you're going to receive that. You seek a new kingdom on this earth, it's coming, man. You can sit here and watch a tree die all day, or you can begin to change your way of thinking and watch stuff grow. You know what I'm saying? You can bash everybody, here. But what happens when you decide to not just bash, when you decide to edify and build up? All right, you ain't going to tear down, but I'm going to start building. See that? Let the Lord worry about the tearing down. Go ahead, bro.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 27. For evil shall be put out, deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared.
Woo! It's going to be declared. What else going to be declared? He said his elect are going to be declared. And he said what? Yahweh shall going to be revealed. Man, he's going to be declared, man. All right? So, and the prophecy is going to speak. Once all hell breaks loose and the prophecy is all done, that's it. The truth is going to stand then. Ain't going to be no more truth and lies and Babylon and this confusion. This is going to be truth. Yes.
It is not.
Jacob's trouble is real. Yes, you're in it. Go ahead, brother. Yeah, the experience.
The book of Isaiah 31:4-5. For those has the Lord spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey, when a multitude of shepherds is called for against him. He will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So should the Lord of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof.
Right.
As a bird flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it.
He said, as birds flying. That means Yahweh Shai is going to come back in those chariots. And that's how he's going to defend, the elect by being in those chariots, zapping Esau warships, zapping Esau space satellites, and jets.
It's a preserving. To preserve you and deliver. To preserve means what? Saving. You're going to keep it safe. How you gonna keep us safe in this time, man? You're gonna have to have some spiritual power for that. Intervention, man.
And that's basically in the beginning we're saying that like we're not gonna be in fear when we're out there teaching, because that's what's gonna be in store for us. We're gonna be out there boldly, but he said when the people should come in, we're not gonna be at fear, because the Yahweh Shai is gonna show like the bird, how to say the birds, how the brother just said, man. So that's our reward for doing the work, man.
Psalm 91, he said, under his wings shalt thou trust. And the wings represent the chariot. We're going to trust in his chariots, man. And the power that upholds those chariots. That's why Ezekiel said a hand of a man was under the chariots. That man represents Yahweh Shai. So, and that word hand represents power. So his power is what, if you look at Esau video, they saying they don't know what's making these chariots move. They don't have thrusters, they don't have engines. So what's doing it? It's the power of the Lord. So that's, we're gonna be trusting in the power of the Lord.
Right. So it gotta be something greater to be able to go against the laws of physics.
Yeah.
Basically just question their whole way of science.
Physics, it means physicality. So that sets boundaries to certain things. That's why they can't physically describe what the heck they see. Those laws set boundaries, bro.
Set the bounds that they cannot cross.
Physics. Spirits.
Like they talk about changing shapes and stuff like that, bro. Like interdimensional, man. What is that? Like I don't even know. Like this might be beyond anything that we can even.
Like, somebody get Revelation 4 real quick. We're gonna read one verse. Now this right here shows you that. Because it said, "What come up here, man?" But he had to go into a chariot. Revelation 4. That's the spirit realm. This was the angels. Whether he went to a chariot or not, this shows you how powerful the angels are. Where they can do this for us. Verse 1.
This is Revelation 4:1. After this I looked.
Nice and slow. We only do this one verse.
After this I looked, and behold, a door was open in heaven.
Right. What they say when somebody's dying, they saw the light. Yeah. All right. But he saw this light open. Right? He saw the sky open up. Right? This is real. This is John the Revelator on the Isle of Patmos. They thought he was deserted. He was one of the last prophets alive. They left him there to grind a mill and grind salt in the salt mills. You know, on the deserted island. Punishment. But the Lord, he said, "Nah, I got you. I'm here with you." All right, go ahead.
And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet.
Oh no, keep going back up top. I missed something.
And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet.
Let's start from the beginning real quick.
Come on, man.
After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, "Come up hither, and I will shew thee things which must be hereafter." And immediately,
he said, "Come up here." Where's come up here? Come up here, right? The angel saying this to him. He said, immediately. Go ahead.
And immediately I was in the spirit.
Whoa. Yeah.
Twinkling of an eye.
So he just literally went to the fourth dimension from that point.
From that chariot. Or whatever it was he was dealing with. They told him, "Come up here." And once they contacted him, he was immediately in the celestial, in the spirit realm.
With the twinkling of an eye.
Yep. And twinkling of an eye. Somebody get that? Change of the twinkling of an eye? Immediately.
1 Corinthians 15.
Yeah, look good.
I'm gonna start at verse 51. This is 1 Corinthians, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 51.
Right.
Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed again.
Man.
For this,
that's more.
that's enough.
That's so we're gonna be changed, man. That's what he promised us.
It's a for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when it's corruptible shall have put on incorruption.
So what makes us corruptible? This flesh. So it's going to be a new form of flesh that will not be incorruptible. It'll be guided by the spirit. Because the spirit, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, man. And 2/3 of our people will not be able to tap into that spirit. So they're not allowed to.
Their body's gonna have the hand of a man power.
So they went straight where the house was at too.
Yeah.
I got a
He's
precept.
right there looking at the throne, like.
I got a precept that we have written next to that verse that says, "I heard the voice." This is 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 19. And he said, "Hear thou therefore the word of the Lord Yahweh. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left hand." When it says he opened up the doors of heaven, so he went straight into, you know.
Yeah. Who is that?
This when the Lord
No, who's that? Yeah. Who is that talking?
this First Kings chapter 2. Elijah.
Elijah, yeah. And the difference with him is he didn't get taken into the chariot right there. That was a vision. But this one right here with Revelation 4, he got taken out somewhere. He said, "Come up here."
Yeah.
See the difference? And then Elijah got taken up later.
I was just focused on heaven where he was at the throne. So I like that's what he probably saw, like the throne.
Yeah.
The left and the right. So when he went up, like you know, when that door was open, he saw like the throne.
Yeah. Yeah. When we got transitioned or translated into the spirit realm, just like Enoch was, or however it was, he saw the throne, he saw Yahweh, and he saw all the angels around him, the good and the bad end. what's it called? Elijah saw it as a vision. Like this person was like there. He was there. Down the Revelator. But yeah, man. So it's like a whole nother system being operated out there that we don't know about. You know, the ones that died. And the scriptures say there's more people in the heavens than there is on the earth.
Damn.
He couldn't bring everybody from the heavens on the earth. See that? So that lets you kind of understand death, not be so fearful. There's more out there than there is on the earth. If he was to bring everybody to the earth would fall apart.
Yeah. Talking about depopulation.
Yeah. So why is he waiting? He has to start with the first fruits. Once he gives us the universe, all Israel is going to be birthed again. Until all of them come out the heavens. And then he's going to refill the heavens with Esau. As he filled the earth and the universe with us, he's going to be pulling Esau slowly off the earth and into the spirit realm forever. And they're not going to have a body on the earth to come back into. Yep. So our people, they're going to have a body to come back into through the elect, the first fruits. And those first fruits are going to plant seeds and grow and then drop more seeds. Continue to create fruit.
I got a precept. When we were talking about the chariots moving and not having any thrusters, what it be moved by? I thought about Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 24. For wisdom is more moving than any motion; she passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. And when you do your best to understand Yahweh Yahushua, you gain wisdom and you fear him. And that's part of his that's part of his power right there, having a chariot, a vehicle in the sky that can move to and fro without turning. That can
interdimensional.
Right, exactly.
You know, the fourth dimension overpowers us. We can't go into the fourth dimension, but the fourth dimension comes in the
So thus being the spirit. Like the spirit what's in it, which is within us is in the fourth dimension. But that's why as soon as this body perishes, that we're still here, but we're in the fourth dimension.
Flies away. The spirit flies away like a balloon. Yep. Balloon pop. Yep. Yeah. And the gas.
Just to describe how it can be from another dimension into a lesser dimension, just as Yahushua being made lesser than the angels. Men made lesser than the angels and coming in the flesh.
Yeah, he said, "Body have thou prepared for me."
So now take that mindset, what you were just thinking, right? How chariots move back and forth without having any thrusters, right? It's the spirit that's inside that has that wisdom that's moving like any other emotion. So think about it. We wouldn't be able to control it now because we can't control this flesh. But just think about it, man. Just imagine like if you have a righteous spirit within you, a righteous mindset, right? And you can control the elements. Because if you have, come on, man, imagine Esau being able to control the elements. He won't do it for good. So now when we get in those new bodies, we ain't gonna see no thrusters coming out our feet when we fly. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna see that. You're not gonna see any of that. It's just gonna, everything will be a natural motion, just like our wisdom is, just like how the air is. None of that.
We're gonna be naturally playing with the elements like toys. That's what I tell my children. We're gonna be dealing with the elements like toys. That's gonna be the toys. And the candy is gonna be fruit. You know, the fruit, the trees and stuff like that. That's gonna be the candy. And the toy is gonna be the animals. Actual playing with elements of fire and water like it's toys.
Avatar.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Avatar. Like imagine Esau being the fire nation.
Shit.
But that's why the mutants in Marvel, we're the real Marvels. The world gonna marvel at us. We're not gonna need TV because we're gonna be a TV. Every day you wake up, you're gonna see your children doing amazing things, see each other. And that's why the Lord's scriptures say, what's that? Ezra chapter 2, where they say the crowns.
Oh yeah.
He was more exalted. Right before that. The president.
Stone, can you give yourself 45?
Yeah, you the one.
Yep. All right. This second Ezra chapter 2, verse 45. It says, he answered and said unto me, 44. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh, and are they crowned and receive palms. They said, then said I unto the angel,
43.
43?
Yep.
All right.
42.
All right. Second Ezra chapter 2, verse 42. Yep. It says, I Ezra saw upon the mountain. Let's start 41.
43. 42.
All right. 41, second Ezra 2 and 41. I mean 42, sorry, damn. It says, I Ezra saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs.
Right, that's how you know it's not just going to be 144. It's going to be the 1/3 as well, the rest of the 1/3, remnant. It's going to be at the sand of the sea. Right.
Verse 43, second Ezra chapter 2.
Right, because if you have the sand of the sea, you still grab some, you still can't number all the sand in your hand. The only one who can do that is Howard Shai. That's in Sirach chapter 1.
You know the hair, even though the amount of hairs on your head.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So just like the stars in heaven, he knows. You know. So, right, brother.
Verse 43, second Ezra chapter 2. It says, and in the midst of them, there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest. And upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly.
So right there, he said what? We was exalting Yahweh Shai, right? He was standing in the midst of us. But brother about to get the scripture, because by that time we already gonna have new bodies. And then the Lord gonna give you a crown, and that word crown represents a badge. That's gonna be the green light. He's gonna give us the bodies. Wait, we should be as he is.
Yeah, we should be as he is.
Wait, we see him as he is. When we see him, we should be as he is.
We're gonna be in the clouds with him.
No, we shall. That's a reference that you said. We shall know what to expect when we see him, but when we see him, we shall be as he is.
Yep. Somebody might be leaving in the comments, so you don't know. I want to see it on that. But I think I can. If
I'm not mistaken. 1 John 3 and 2.
Yep. Bring it out quick so I can show you. But that was his representative.
It's 1 John.
Because by the time they saw him, yeah, you see the chariots, but by the time you see Yahweh Shai, you're going to be changed already and have your new bodies. All right? All right, brother?
It's 1 John chapter 3, verse 2. Beloved, now we the sons of God, Yahweh Shema Shai, and doeth not yet appear what we shall be.
Right, so we don't even know. We haven't seen it yet. It's something from the fourth dimension. We can't even imagine what the Lord prepared for us out there already. He already got our body prepared. So we don't know what it's going to be like. Everything we thinking, he like, no, I'm going to top that. Nah, I'm going to do better than that. Yeah, you got to think forever. Well, you know how long you know what I'm saying?
God.
That's how you think. You know what I'm saying, brother?
But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him. For we shall see him as he is.
Right. So by the time we see him, we're going to be as he is. One, we're going to have spiritual abilities. Two, those same bodies, even if you have spiritual power, the flesh will still wrestle against the spirit. So we have to be, and even if he was glorified and made royalty spiritually, we still have to get out of these dead corpses, these dead bodies. You know, I got fungus all over them and bacteria that we can't even see.
Chemical imbalances.
Yeah, everybody's lusting after these women. I love women too, but there's a difference between wanting a woman and lusting after a woman. Because what you're desiring, the Lord sees it for what she is, like bugs and shit. You see all of us, what we are, like on our face, shit we can't see. That's why you're like, yeah, get over here, go touch me. We unclean, you know what I'm saying?
And think about it, we wouldn't like just like saying like you wear your clothes a certain way that your parents didn't like when they get home, you turn them, taking it off. Like we wouldn't want to be in front of them in these bodies anyway, because these bodies are filthy.
Yeah, man. You know, and the new body is not going to worry about that. You know, so by the time we see him, we're going to have new bodies and we're going to have experience and use some of our power already. But then he's going to give us a body that matches with that spirit. And he said in Galatians, he put his spirit into our hearts, calling out Abba Father. But the wrestling, as Paul said, is the flesh and the spirit. Go ahead, brother.
was Solomon 2:23. For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity.
Right. He made us to be in his image. But what happened was what? He judged Adam, the Adamites. Because it wasn't just Adam by itself, it was Adamites, it was people. So he judged them. Now, okay, what's that? Romans 11? Who have sinned? The potter. Right, he raised up Pharaoh and all that. Yeah. Because you look at it like this, why did all this happen? Because he couldn't give us the kingdom first, he had to give it to his son. All right, it's all about Yahushua establishing him first and establishing the kingdom for him upon the earth in this universe that was created. And within creating a nation of people, which he birthed us into a nation when we came out of Egypt, once he created us into a kingdom for the king, his son, you got to picture that, I'm going to create you a kingdom now. Now he had to set up order within that. Mix it all up, anoint the most holy, send it back to the earth, off the earth, all the way until now where he can establish the order of the first group. Right? So the same way as is in heaven, as it shall be on earth.
So the same way in Genesis when you with the creation. Like how he created the light in the beginning, the first day, on the fourth day, he gave the order. It's all the process.
Yep. And what else? As you said, he saw the spirits in heaven, some on the right, some on the left. But he had to do that same thing upon earth. To set some on the right and some on the left. So that way it would be as in heaven, so shall it be upon earth. So now, when he shows up, he's going to set everybody to the right, everybody to the left. He's doing it spiritually. But in the heavens, yeah, you can see it. They were here, they were there. All right, so he had to establish that in the Lord's kingdom. All right, but it's all about the first fruit. Yahushua being the first fruit, then the elect, then the rest of Israel, then the nations, and then Esau on the bottom.
I got to preach that.
What did you want in Romans 9? Start with children not yet being born. I'm done.
Yeah, that one. Real quick.
All right, this is Romans chapter 9, verse 11. It says, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Yahweh according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with Yahweh? Yahweh forbid. For he said unto Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of Yahweh that showeth mercy. For the scripture said unto Pharaoh,
right. Mercy is what? Giving a gift for something that to someone that doesn't deserve it. All right, so it's all about him. It's all about his power, his word, bringing us out of this captivity, putting us in captivity. He's showing that he's the power. Who even with Cyrus the Great, I heard Mike Tyson ask a question the other day. They asked him, they said, yo, why do you study so much conquerors? And he started talking about all these different conquerors, comparing himself and how he could be related to Alexander. He confused. But he said he think he could be reincarnated as Alexander. Like kicking everybody ass. We all didn't think that.
Yeah, that's a double mind, man. Back when he was fighting, he said, Alexander, I'm no Alexander.
Yeah.
Jack Pitt, young.
Yeah.
Right. Announcing Alexander then.
Yeah. So,
ain't he a Muslim too?
Right. He was. That was how he was.
Yeah. But I forgot my thought.
What?
Mercy. And it come back to you. Let's keep on.
All right, verse 17, it says, for the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
Mm-hmm. So that's what it's about. We did. We stopped there. And so the Lord is raising up all these people to come against the rock of offense. And we represent that rock of offense. So the Lord is raising up all these nations and 2/3 of our people to come against us so that he can show his power in them and get glorified from us. All right? And be honored. Let's keep going, preacher, man.
I got 1 second.
Yeah, I had one in John as far as him what's been in the kingdom with him. This is John chapter 14, verse 3. I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, in my father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. And that was just what I had to bring out earlier, you know, so that when Howard Shadu comes back and gather his remnant, we're going to be in that place with him also in our new bodies.
By that point, man, we're gonna be with him. By the time we see Howard Shad, we're gonna be like him, man. You know, he said that, man.
All things I have done, ye shall do also.
That's right. That's right. And some. And he said when he was on the earth, he did so many miracles that it couldn't be written in the book.
And he talking about now. Like, it's nothing we don't do now.
And they said you couldn't even keep it on earth. Like all the books, you couldn't even keep it on earth.
Shit.
So we're gonna be doing that many miracles. It's gonna be like a natural thing to us. That's how you know it's gonna be nature. It's gonna be our nature.
So you books $1 million, like that's crazy. Like all the books,
That's probably why
and Lord, I did all of it.
probably so many big books that the Lord probably be constantly buying books.
Yeah, like
But I'll say book.
in Egypt, when they Alexander,
Library of Alexandria.
that library that they had, they say they didn't burn all those books, but they tried to burn everything, and then they tried to create a new form of way of thinking, a new form of not education, but their own form of wisdom. So that's what Alexander wanted everybody to be go according to Greek customs and be like go according to their heritage. That's what he was trying to do, conquer all. Same spirit as Esau. Just like how they destroyed all our documentation when we came over here on this earth because they wanted us to think according to their thought process. But the Lord set it all up for us to be distinct from our heritage because it just shows more of his power that we can have everything taken away from us and he can give it right back to us through the spirit.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 12. And it reads.
You give a lot, I can hear it.
So like it's Ecclesiastes 12 and 12. And further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end. And much study is the weirdness of the flesh.
So Yahweh Shai gave us what we need. Yahweh Shai gave us what we need and simplified everything in this book right here. So we don't need no book of Enoch. We don't need no book of Yasher and all that stuff because you won't be able to get the authenticated version regardless. So he gave us everything that we need in order for us to get back to him.
Right. Hey, somebody get Ecclesiastes, right, you get Ecclesiastes 9 and 12, and you can explain it, bro. All right. We're going to read over to 18. And you can probably take over from 16.
Ecclesiastes.
Yeah, Ecclesiastes. Anytime I go to Apocrypha, I probably say so, Rob.
Yeah. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 12.
Yep.
For man also knoweth not his time, as for the fishes that are taken in an evil net.
Right, because the fishes that are taken in the evil net, that represent Esau setting up a trap. And it also represents death. When people die, it's like the Lord send the angels out to take that person. You know, it don't have to be good or bad, it's just that time is up.
And as the birds that are caught in a snare, so are the sons of man snared in an evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them.
Right, that's 2/3 of our people. They're going to be snared by the snare of the fowler in the evil time. The Lord said these times are evil. They're bad times, man. It's night. He said this is night. Those that sleep in the night. Right, and they're going to be caught in that snare in this time, man. Go ahead, brother.
This wisdom have I seen also under the sun, and it is seen great unto me.
Right, what do you say? Judgment under the sun, right? Anybody know that side? That's good. Bring out the little word.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there.
Right, so there's wickedness and righteousness upon the earth right like brother, our car brought up earlier, he said, what? They should, the same shall know it after death by pain. All right, so right here, this is where they come back on that earth and they live out their pain. And 2/3 are set up to go through that pain, man. All right, and the 1/3, they're covered with the sacrifice that Yahushua made, and he went through that pain for us. You know, so he damn sure not going to let his elect go through that.
Well, Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 14. And there was a little city, and few men within it. And there came a great king against it, and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city.
Right, this is spiritual. Really talking about Yahushua today. All right, and Edom might have besieged us now. Right? Especially in 70 AD. And that poor man, Yahushua, nobody remembered him. You know, they didn't want to remember him. Right?
Yet no man remembered that same poor man.
See that? Nobody remember Yahushua, just like they don't remember us today. Right?
Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard.
Right? So we represent that poor man. You know, Yahushua showed up. He didn't show up with a big entourage and a trumpet blasting, and army to go to war. He said, if this was my kingdom, my servants would fight. So what do you think we're going to be doing when he show up? It's going to be his kingdom. He said, you go and fight. He said, yo, somebody that holds their sword back from blood, they're going to be cursed. All right, and it starts now. The Lord is testing you to see if you're going to hold your sword back spiritually. Yeah. He said, who will fight for me, man?
Quick objection. This St. John 3:18. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he have not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of Yahweh.
Oh, you can speak on.
No, just a quick
objection.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 17.
One more. 1 Thessalonians 4:16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, with the trump of Yahweh, and the dead in Yahushua shall rise first. Talking about the elect, they're going to be with Yahushua. All right. Now, right here, it says he's going to just descend from heaven with a shout. And that word shout means to incite a riot. Shoot. To incite someone to fight. So when he comes from the heaven, he might be like, take the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Con.
Something like that, man. Go ahead, brother.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 17. The words of a wise man are heard in quiet, more than the cry of him that ruleth among fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroys much good.
Right, because in a private situation like this, somebody from the world come here crying out that mess, they won't be heard. Just like we won't be heard in their world. If we go out and stand on stage and I don't know, Rick Ross or somebody about to come out and we try to teach all the people, they're going to all turn against it. But let that same dude come around us crying last minute with that 10 versions. 5 were wise, 5 were foolish. So he won't be heard here either. So the Lord's saying, yo, you know, why worry about it? Just do the work. Worry about your side. Don't worry about what the wicked do. Worry about the righteous. You know, what's that one where it say the earth try to take over the sea? He try to take over the earth. What about Sirach 18? What's that one? Yeah, Sirach 18. Right? Because it's all chemistry, man. And once you understand that, the Most High controlling everything. He's not emotionally attached and all that. It's all chemistry to him. It's just an experiment. That's what we are. That's right. 18 and 27.
Sirach 18:27.
Yeah.
This is Sirach chapter 18, verse 27. It says, a wise man will fear in everything, and in the day of sinning he will beware of offense. but a fool will not observe time.
Right, can you get that? Will not observe time. Meaning what? A fool gonna be asleep.
You know, like in 2 Ezra chapter 9, that the brother brought earlier, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua commanded us to measure the time diligently in himself. So that's a commandment from the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua himself. You know, so that's what we're supposed to do.
Precepts? I'm trying to listen to them real quick.
This St. John chapter 5 and 20. For the Father loveth the Son and showeth him all things that himself doeth, and he will show him greater works than these, that he may marvel. I just want to bring that out because we went into the marvel. You know, you know, being the hopefully elect, the Harazazah, we are part of that number. You know, we're gonna be the ones that marvel. You know,
right? The marvels, man.
That's spiritual power, man. That ultimately the works that the Lord going, all right, we're gonna do even greater.
Right. 2 Ezra 4 and 13. Yeah. And this is very important to understand, man. This is chemistry. You know.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 4, verse 13.
All the way to 18.
He answered me and said, I went into a forest, into a plain, and the trees took counsel. And said, come, let us go and make war against the sea.
Right. That would be like Esau making war against us, right, in the nation.
That it may depart away before us, and that we may make us more woods.
So the trees and the woods is like, yo, they want to expand. That's what the naturally set up to do, expand and grow and populate. But the Lord set a boundary between the trees of the earth and the water in the sea. That way you have low tide, high tide, low tide. But the tide will come up, but it still go back. The Most High set that in order. You know, he got it set up perfectly. You might get a flood up on the land with a hurricane, you know, but it goes right back. All right, go ahead.
Verse 15 of 2 Ezra chapter 4. The floods of the sea also in like manner took counsel and said, come, let us go up and subdue the woods of the plain, that there also we may make us another country.
Right, that's us. So, yo, let's go get it. We're going like Black Panthers, right? Black Wall Street.
Verse 16, 2 Ezra chapter 4. The thought of the wood was in vain, for the fire came and consumed it.
Right, that's Esau and 2/3. So the thought of the wood is vain. Go ahead.
Verse 17, 2 Ezra chapter 4. The thought of the floods of the sea came likewise to naught, for the sand stood up and stopped them.
Right, so the sand is the divide. All right, and that's really spiritual, talking about Yahushua. All right, go ahead.
Verse 18 of 2 Ezra chapter 4. If thou wert judged now betwixt these two, whom wouldest thou begin to justify, or whom wouldest thou condemn?
Yeah. So who can you really condemn, or who would you justify? If it's all chemistry. You know, it's the wood's job to blame the sea. And the sea's job to blame the woods. It's our job to blame Esau and the heathens. It is Esau and the heathens' job to be against us.
Like our forehead hard against their forehead.
That's right. And the Father's job to be the judge in between, you know, and to handle the chemistry to where this experiment is going to go towards us now.
Oh, something like positive, negative.
Positive and negative. Back to that again, right? Somebody take the floor real quick. I give another precept, Ecclesiastes 3 and 11, just in case. That should be it. Okay. Let me use the bathroom real quick. Somebody did. Maybe a couple more precepts.
You said Ecclesiastes 3 and 11?
Yeah. I might leave it to another precept. Like more.
This is Ecclesiastes 3, 3 and 11. He have made everything beautiful in his name.
And that's why if you would have read
in his times.
So he made everything beautiful in his time.
So that if you would have read verse 19 on 2nd Ezra, Ezra's rebuttal and said, it is a foolish thought for the tree and the sea to fight against one another because, you know, go ahead and read it.
Even Esau's time, they're a perfect weapon of mass destruction.
It's saying Ezra chapter 4.
That the beauty of the Chaldees excellency.
Second Ezra chapter 4, verse 19. It says, I answered and said, verily, it is a foolish thought that they both have devised, for the ground is given unto the wood, and the sea also hath his place to bear his floods.
And basically, so that is the balance in between.
Right. So you can't comprehend it.
So no.
Second Ezra 4:11 again. Real quick.
This is 4:11. Yeah. If somebody grab that, mine real quick.
Second Ezra 4.
This is second Ezra.
That last part he just said.
4:11. How should thy vessel then be able to comprehend the way of the highest?
And you can't comprehend unless you have the spirit to be able to comprehend.
How can these broken vessels hold all that water?
Yeah. Go back to it. 7 Ezra 4:11. Yeah, 4:11. Go back to the Ecclesiastes.
This is Ecclesiastes 3:11. He hath made everything beautiful in his times. Also, he hath set the world in their heart.
All right, so check this out. Who has somebody get 1 Corinthians 2:12 real quick. You keep reading that real quick.
Also, he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that Yahweh maketh from the beginning to the end.
So it was a carnal thing between the tree and the sea to strive against each other, right? But that think about it, 2/3 of our people in these other nations today, because they have the what? The world in their hearts, right? But we were separated from the world, right? Bring that First
Corinthians chapter 2, verse 12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of Yahweh Shai, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of Yahweh by Shai.
All right, so what about the ones, read that again, the ones that were given the spirit of the world? They're not going to be able to understand it. So they're going to continue to strike and beat once among another. Like we're not bickering the argument, we're just trying to promote the truth because we have an understanding given up to us because we don't have the spirit of the world. You going read that please ask this one more time about the child.
He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he hath set the world in their heart.
All right, so now they living deliciously in this time right now, and they have the world in their heart. Our people don't even know when they sleep, man, for real. They don't know they sleep, man, for real. They don't know this destruction about to come. No matter you can tell them till you blow in the face. They ain't gonna get it because he has set the world in their hearts. You know what I'm saying? Somebody want to get Isaiah 6:10. Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of St. John, chapter 17 and 9. I pray for them, I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, that they are thine, man. So like, that's again, man, the world is separate, from the holy, man. Holy being separate, which is the righteous, man, the apple of the Lord's eye. The elect, the remnant, who ultimately the Lord is dealing with in these times, and he's looking to save.
I just wanted to say a little piece like the brother was speaking on, people are seeing themselves to be woke in this time, but they'll be on some whole Egyptology shit. You know what I'm saying? That's shit. Your ass put it in even people's sleep. You know what I'm saying? It's like being laid down asleep and getting your ass knocked out while you sleep. So it's like you get put down even further, What they call it?
Unconscious.
Yeah, unconscious. Their leader is in the Hebrew Israelite doctrine every day. Their leader being Sanel. That was their ring master, being Vince McMahon of the whole.
That's what made it, because it sure is entertainment, man.
Right.
And they get paid
Go ahead.
Isaiah 6:10.
Read that real quick one more time, and then go to Isaiah 6:10.
Ecclesiastes 3:11. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that Yahweh maketh from the beginning to the end.
All right, let me get this real quick. World and 2/3 heart. Let me get this real quick.
He said Yahweh Shai and the elect's heart.
Hey, I go back to earlier when we was talking about, 2/3 of our people falling off the Esau with Psalms 49:11, man. The world is in their hearts, so shit, they want this shit to continue on forever. So they find a place of rest in a place that is not their rest.
Hey, read that real quick. Isaiah 6:10.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 6, verse 10. Make the heart of his people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their ears, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed.
And that's just it, bro. So our people are going two-thirds of our people are going to be still fighting and bickering. And so they're not going to be able to get it, man. So please read that one more time. And somebody still got that First Corinthians 2 and 12. All right, and then come with that, and I got one to follow that in any other pieces that come out. Read that again, brother.
He said, Ecclesiastes 3:11. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that Yahweh maketh from the beginning to the end.
So they ain't gonna know what's going to hit them, like, even though we could have told them. That's
2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of Yahweh Shai, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of Yahweh Shai.
But see, he set everything beautiful in his time. Again, this whole earth is beautiful. Just like the elder said, he saw the perfect weapon of mass destruction, man. He's beautifully wicked, like to the T, like 100%. But 2/3 of our people will not be able to see him as being wicked. Even, you know what I'm saying, they're trying to befriend this devil because he's their authority. So what are they trying to do in some way, form, or fashion, trying to fit in? Even with the Black Panthers, they want equal rights. That's fitting in, wanting to be equal. They don't want this whole system torn down. They want to be part of the system and equal to the system. That's not how your Yahweh is going to set it up.
If I may add a point on that, you know what I'm saying, with the whole BLM movement, you know what I'm saying, you just had the whole Asian thing come out. Yeah, that should let you know that you're trying to find a place in the society that you can't get a spot inside their club, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you in there. But yeah, you know, that should let our people know something. But yeah, they still like, oh, how they get this before that? You know what I'm saying? Before us. But
what they think, okay, we'll just make June.
Yeah, June. Shit, everybody gonna be out here living it up for that shit. Like,
they asked the police stop killers and strength. They was like, we'll give you a holiday. Best we can do.
When did the so-called Asians, you know, which would be Moab and Ammon in the scriptures, when did they go through any type of turmoil, you know, type of
well, they took it back. See, the crazy part about it is the propaganda behind that is because they want to take it all the way back to during the time of World War II with Pearl Harbor. And they put them in concentration camps. But when they took them out, they gave them reparations after that.
Oh yeah.
They gave them reparations after that, right? And they still get it to this day.
And the point being that it's a slap in the face for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. All right, for you to be asking for rights and people jump in line continuously in front of you because hey, this is not your rest. This is not your place. Your kingdom.
Just remember your forefathers. Y'all was born in the land of your captivity. You know what I'm saying? These damn Moabites was not born over here, brought over here cargo slave ships. They came over here in planes for vacation and buy lands
and businesses.
Willingly.
Then they gave them stores, and they were able to live in those stores.
Well, some of the agents did come over here during the time of the Buffalo Soldiers on ships and shit like that, but they didn't go through the shit that we went through. They try to tie all that bullshit into them having to go. They got paid as agents. They was on the floor.
And they were here during the they were buying up land, doing trades, putting it up. That's why a lot of them look like Gadite, but a lot of them are really Chinese.
Yeah.
That's still not lucky, bro.
Micah 2:10. This is one of what Fanyolo was saying. He was saying, arise ye and depart, but this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword of destruction.
And that's and the Lord made beautified America. Everybody's chasing the American dream, and it's really a delusion, man, to take 2/3 of our people that are here in America, keep their mind off Yahweh because he doesn't want them. They're not part of the first fruits. So he made this place as beautiful as he can make it for Esau, for it to be. What does it say? Proverbs 26:12 or 12:26. He says the righteous are more excellent than his neighbor, but the ways of the wicked seduces them. So we're being seduced, and it's so seductive that if it were possible, it would even deceive the very elect. This is what this place was set up to do. Well, our place, this place was set up to be our bondage, man, and it's so confusing to our people that they don't even understand that they're in bondage. So the perfect slave is the one that thinks that he's free, man. Master just let us off the porch, man. He just made the plantation bigger. Instead of having these plantation houses, the Emancipation Proclamation made America the plantations. So they set up these different deterrent sites as being these jails, the ghettos. The ghetto is a prison, bro. The ghetto is a prison.
Now even Alex Jones coined it as what? Prison plans. So the whole earth is a prison now.
Good. He has made the whole earth a wilderness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, about that.
It started with that dollar. The dollar became the world currency.
This is the book of Zechariah 13 and 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, say the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. Therein.
So 2/3 of our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, are going to be cut off. I know. The remnant and the elect is going to be the ones that's going to be saved. So read verse 7 real quick. Verse 7. Oh, okay. Zechariah. Somebody will get back to Zechariah 13 or 7 or 14. It says, all right. Zechariah 13:7 says, "Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn mine hand upon the little ones." What is the? Oh, that's it goes. I was about to try to read that Spanish. My bad. I got confused. But they're trying to say that that's what it's pertaining to. It's not pertaining to the 2/3 of our people. Israelites tried and denied. Don't punch it. So basically, I did fractions. I remember doing fractions in 3rd grade. So there's a 1/3 and there's a 2/3. It is plain and simple, man. Go back to Amos 9 and 8. Amos 9 and 8 explains, "The sinners of my people shall die by the sword." But he made a promise to all Israel, because what does he say? All Israel shall be saved. All right, but an everlasting salvation, world without end. So he has to keep that promise. So we have to be born back in. Somebody get Job 19 and 25.
Zechariah 13 and 8. It says, 2/3 shall be left therein. That's where you get the fraction at. 2/3, where it specifically says 2/3 shall be left therein. That's 2/3 of Israel.
Right.
It was a special egg. Job 19 and 25.
This is Job chapter 19, verse 25. It says, "For I know that my Redeemer liveth."
So we know Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We know Yahushua coming down here to redeem us, man. But listen to what Job said. Go ahead.
"And that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. And though after my skin worms destroy this body."
Although after my skin worms destroy this body, man.
"Yet in my flesh shall I see Yahweh Bashem Yahushua."
Yet in my flesh. Come on, explain that. Israelites try to deny.
That's the spirit of the prophet. That's the spirit of the prophet subject unto the prophet.
Incarnation.
And it's going to be manifest that they are the sons of the devil. 2/3. And what happened to? They went out from us, but they were not of us.
They were not of us. Who are they?
All Israel is not of Israel.
All Israel are of Israel. We can go on for days and days. 3 points, like drama. So that's how you know, man. That's why they were given the spirit of this world. That's why you get lined up and stuff now, man. You get that Ecclesiastes out again, man. Like for real. Like that's why you be getting the spirit.
So Esau, when they got you, so 2/3, when they start falling into 2/3, they start pulling the doctrine away, saying you get haircuts, you do all this stuff that they're doing. Right. Esau is an Edomite, so they're saying Esau to be saved. Yeah, look at vocab. Yeah, that was his fight for. His whole fight.
Oh, that shit just went over my head. I caught it. Damn. Yeah, it's not bad. Well, he bad. So whatever sickness that they're wrestling with, that's the doctrine that they're gonna be teaching.
It's gonna start overtaking them. He gonna start saying 2/3 could be saved now. Because he knew 2/3.
Yep. Damn. How I get skinny?
Damn. So 2/3 could be saved. That would mean the rainbow people could be saved. Rainbow is ours. But the Zestamites could be saved. Explain that one, Nazariah.
You around here trying to save happy bundles of sticks.
Got too much sugar in that thing.
Before you, anybody else? Anybody else got one? I got one. This is Hebrews chapter 2, verse 1. Therefore, we ought to give the most earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip.
Damn, and that's what they did, man. They're trying to denounce everything that they learned from the elders, and they're trying to really denounce. They're trying to really destroy Israel, man. Just like the elder was speaking on earlier, man. Like everybody trying to tear down. Who's going to start building? And that's what we're doing. Building meaning to edify the ones that are willing to learn, man. That are willing to be taught. You know what I'm saying? Pride is a terrible thing that can stunt your growth.
No, man, this is like, come on, man, we're gonna end it though, but Romans 4:8. Blessed is the man to whom Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai will not impute sin. So that's the elect. The 2/3 he's gonna impute sin upon them. That's Amos chapter 9.
And all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. Man.
Right. And what he said when he showed up, he's gonna put the goats on the left and sheep on the right. He said Israel should be as a sand of the sea, but only a remnant gonna be saved. So how are you gonna save all Israel through that? You have to bring them back through reincarnation. You know, that way how do you understand the first fruits? The first fruits of what? The tree. Revelation 22 tell you about the 12 trees. Bearing 12 manner of fruit. You know, so who gonna be the first fruits of those trees? The elect, and then the rest of the Israel. So that's your 2/3 right there, and 1/3.
Appreciate it.
You can keep going on and on, you know.
I want to know if this reincarnation ain't real. Why did the angel tell Daniel, said, go that way, sleep with thy father, but in that time you shall stand in thy light. Been plain and simple. That's Daniel being here at this time. Why did Ezra say, woe is me, woe is me? Who shall deliver me in those days? Come on, man.
I ain't got here yet. It shows Ezra is here now, waiting for that deliverance. You know?
And Job just said he's gonna be in the flesh to see the Redeemer.
The ones that follow the Lord in the regeneration.
Shit, you know you don't call it up, right?
Yeah. You have a piece up? You already read it? Oh, go ahead.
This is Romans chapter 11, starting at verse 8. According as it is written, Yahweh has given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they shall not see, and ears that they shall not hear until this day.
So you can speak on that.
Basically going into what the brothers was speaking on about the 2/3. The Lord had given them the spirit, eyes that they cannot see and ears that they cannot hear. So that's why they always talking and trying to go against the truth and wandering under every green tree still to this day.
Their hearts are back, meaning their minds back, you know, full of the philosophies and the ways of this world.
Quick injection.
They're the same ones that was in the wilderness and wanted to turn back to Egypt. 2/3. Same one, man. All right, good, bro.
Yeah. Second Timothy 2, 2 Timothy 2 and 18 and 19. Who concerning the truth have erred, saying that the resurrection is past already, and overthrew the faith of some. Nevertheless, the foundation of Yahweh standeth sure, having this seal, the Lord knoweth that are his, and let everyone that nameth the name of Yahweh Shai depart from iniquity.
Okay, so call upon the name of Yahweh Shai shall depart from iniquity. Let's start naming this off. Not you know, pass judgment up, but you get lined up, teach them false doctrine. And Israelites try to refine, try to deny ITR.
Talking about you, Nazariah.
Nazariah. Not a liar.
Not a
And
liar.
read that first part again.
The first 18. Who concerning the truth have erred.
Have erred. Concerning the truth have erred, man. Have erred. So they everything. What does the scripture say on those that have not? All that should be taken, even that what they have. They don't go out anymore on the streets that I know of. I haven't seen them go out. They sit there in their little home with all a bunch of screens on everywhere, just debating each other.
Marzon put Isaiah 26:10. A remnant shall be saved. So like Romans 9:27, a remnant shall be saved.
Yeah, a remnant shall be saved, man. Right. A remnant shall be saved. So what's going to happen to the rest of them? But he said he's going to save all of Israel. He made a covenant between Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm going to bring this piece up real quick. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogues of Satan. And that's also talking about the circumcision. The ones that are claiming to be of Israel, like ITR, you know what I'm saying? ISUPK, that are ones that are teaching false IUIC. The ones that are teaching false doctrines, right? Right. IUIC. They're claiming themselves to be Jews, but they're not, man. They're synagogue of Satan. They are their father, the devil. Bottom line. Yeah, we know those Jews that are claiming to be Jews are the fake Jews, are the fake Jews. But we got 2/3 in the congregation of the circumcision that are claiming to be Jews that are not. They are the synagogue and say they fake Jews too.
And they're trying to act as if they so the cleanest too, you know.
Man, come on, man.
They clean the outside of the cup, you know. The ninjas in purple, they awful, man.
Oh my God.
I can just speak and vouch for the ones in Jacksonville. You know how they teach law. But when you go and you see them in the midst doing their daily duties and stuff, like they just completely sense you know, they're not keeping the law. They're getting edge ups, and not only that, they ball in their head, they getting fades and the whole nine, just acting like a complete nigga in public, you know.
Yeah, First John 2:19. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out, so they fell out, that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us.
They are not all Israel who are of Israel, man. That's the bottom line. So they went out from us, and they're trying to teach against the apostles, telling people not to follow what the apostles say. You know?
Hey, that's why it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the Lord, man. That's why we pray Psalms 51, you know, take not thy Holy Spirit away from us, right? Because these very same individuals once was bearing this truth and was rocking out, you know, walking up on camps, trying to, you know, debate, but that was the spirit they was in, you know. They was in a debating spirit, and you know, it's a time and a place, man. Ultimately, you want to be focused on, you know, the ultimate goal, and that's salvation. You know, edifying, building up.
Sirach 7:16. Number not thyself among the multitude of sinners, but remember that wrath will not tarry long.
Boom. That's why you don't number yourself among the multitude of sinners. That would be the 2/3. That would be the 2/3 of Israel. Number yourself out and be numbered to the elect. Right, so there is a separation. If there's no such thing as the 2/3, why does there need to be a sin? You might as well give everyone salvation.
Right? What's that? Learn the song. It's Revelation 14.
Yep. Revelation 14.
Let's touch on the topic a little bit.
When the elect will know that song, man. When the elect will know the lyrics.
Right. Second Ezra 2:41. The number of thy children, see, you're going to have a number for the sinners, but he said, the number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord that thy people, which have been called from the beginning, may be hallowed. So the word hallowed means to be separated. All right, so the Lord is going to do a separation, all right, through the doctrine. And you're going to be numbered with the wicked, or you're going to be numbered amongst the righteous, man. Yep.
And you'll see that in the kingdom, because the ones that are of the first fruits, the other ones that are born in, they're going to know they were part of the 2/3.
Yep.
That's how you're going to be known. But that individual, like the Lord has destroyed that character that was being wicked on this side, because the Lord ain't going to want to see him in the kingdom, just like how the elder was explaining earlier. The Lord ain't going to want to see them in the kingdom. So he's going to destroy that character, take that spirit, hold it up there, and then the elect are going to bring them in. Then when they get born, this time they won't be born into sin, they'll be born into righteousness.
He said he'll be mad at them forever. He kept them in that lot all the way to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Precept real quick.
Precept.
Yeah, let's wrap these out and we can wrap it up.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together.
Brother.
2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14.
Yep.
Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? Ooh. And what communion has light with darkness? And what concord have Hamashiach with baby?
That he may be hallowed, being separated. Light from dark. And you want to speak on it? You know, veiling is the devil. So that's why we don't deal with the Jesus name. We don't deal with none of that church doctrine, Christianity. That goes back to paganism.
And also, there is no place of torment, no purgatory, no none of that. Because another point was brought up by ITR, saying the two benefactors that were on the cross with Yahweh Shai. Talking about the one that went in paradise, but where did the other one go? See, and they was like, see, that's the foundation of the two-third doctrine. Okay, so what? But they didn't. The dude, he went into the grave, and he has to sit into the spiritual room. Now he's back here on this earth today to live out his judgment. That's just it.
Purgatory right here on the earth.
Yes.
Right.
It's a place of waiting for judgment.
That's it. Right here.
That's it. You know what I mean? Go ahead, brother.
It's Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as there was a nation. So like it. Such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of them shall sleep in the dust of the earth, shall awake, some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt.
You got it. Okay.
So yeah, some are gonna wake to shame, and some are gonna. So at some point in time, like the elect are waking up to righteousness, but at some point in time, y'all gonna realize y'all are wicked. Y'all gonna wake up to shame, and you're gonna be destroyed in that lot.
The truth gonna stand.
The truth gonna stand.
The truth should reign. Yeah, man.
Meaning you're gonna have to play that out all the way to the end, bro. Meaning the Lord is not gonna send you somewhere to be tormented forever. Like that doesn't make any sense, man. That goes against his promise. He's gonna make a way for all of Israel to be saved. It just has to be 2/3 have to get it on the back end.
Right, he's gonna hit you forever. Like in the kingdom, the new you, like Nazariah, whoever these people are, 2/3, which I believe. We'll see. But the Lord gonna hate the thought of you forever. And when you come into the kingdom and you're in your new body, you're gonna say, I love you. They gonna say, oh, the past you? And I still hate that one.
You gonna know the past you was wicked because you was born later. You missed the life, pertaining to the kingdom.
Yeah.
You had to come through the loins of the elect with real long.
The elect, and the 1/3 gonna be the new founding fathers.
Wow.
Right, man.
How's that reincarnation feel?
Right. So that any more precepts?
Oh, I got one.
Yeah, let's bring that up real quick and then one more. Okay, one more.
This is Revelation chapter 14. I'm gonna start at verse 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the 4 beasts, and the 4 elders. Yeah, and the elders like you. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. So that's the 144,000 is going to be a part of that remnant. The ones that's going to be saved from this destruction, the ones that's not going to be part of the 2/3.
It's a number. It's a number.
Oh, come on. This is Acts.
No,
Okay,
it's a number that's stated in the scripture pertaining to the new government to come. All right, and the 1/3 meaning the elect. So that's simply plain that it's gonna be a few, and it's done. Everybody ain't in the mix.
Yeah, I'll let us. Go ahead, brother.
This is Acts chapter 12, verse 21. It says, and upon a set day, Herod, arrayed in royal apparel, sat upon his throne and made an orientation unto them. And the people gave a shout, saying, it is the voice of a God and not of a man. And immediately the angel of the Lord smote him, because he gave not Yahweh the glory, and he was eaten of worms and gave up the ghost. So what more is going to happen? Come on. So what more is going to happen to these people who denounce Yahweh Shai, and who denounce his power as well?
Right. I think about the scriptures say the righteous shall scarcely be saved, man. Where should the sinner stand? I think that's when he came out in the all gold outfit.
Come on, so he was saying royal apparel.
Yeah,
on the throne.
Gold. It was gold. It was gold. It was made of gold.
Like, so he was shining.
He was shining. He was like, really? Carrying him?
God.
Oh.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna wrap it up, man. Just, that was a quick edification dealing with time, man. Time can work for you or it can work against you. Just like these scriptures. The scriptures can work for you or they can work against you. It's up to you. You gotta make the choice. Or you pray to Yahweh to help you make the choice. Lead me not into temptation, but deliver me from the evil. You know what I mean? So we're gonna wrap it up. The call, Yahweh, that rule well and teach well, and then elders, and Shalom to you, Akim, not watching the children, and believe to say the truth around the four corners of the earth, man. Stay edified, stay in the truth, keep believing, and enjoy that spirit, man, of joy that you're feeling, man, for the scripture. All right. Shalom.